Green flag is in the air. Jimmie Johnson leads them in duel number 1. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. on that outside with Jeff Gordon behind him. Which line is going to prevail first? It looks like Jimmie Johnson and Martin Truex Jr. on that inside. Jimmie is clear of Ricky Stenhouse Jr. down the back stretch. Even Truex is trying to get clear. Nope. Gordon with a big push on Stenhouse. Johnson up to block him off of turn number 4. To the start line, Jimmie Johnson leads lap 1. Here comes Truex with a big side draft on Jimmie Johnson. Kurt Busch making a 3-wide move. Trevor Bayne in the middle going backwards as Keselowski gets loose off the bumper of Kyle Busch, but he saves it as the first 3 cars get clear of Stenhouse. Paul Menard make it 4 cars on that inside line, all clear of that second line. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. battling Tony Stewart there for the 5th spot. Can he bring that second line back towards the front? We'll see as Truex leads lap number 2. Ricky Stenhouse Jr., big push from Jeff Gordon. He's alongside Paul Menard. Now here he comes for Kurt Busch. What's Jimmie going to do? Is he going to block him? Oh, he missed the block. Here comes Stenhouse for the lead. Truex couldn't block him either. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. to the front here at Daytona into turn 3. Coming to the white flag. One more lap to go for Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Jeff Gordon, he gets a run. Stenhouse tries to block it. Now Truex to the front. Gordon with a big push from Trevor Bayne. Here they come on the outside. To the middle, Kurt Busch and Gordon make contact. Now Kurt Busch is trying for the lead. He's got Trevor Bayne behind him. Jimmie Johnson on the inside. Off of turn 4. Who's gonna win it? Bayne ditches Kurt Busch to the line. It's Jimmie Johnson who wins duel number 1 at Daytona. And there was a big wreck in the back. We're gonna need to see the replay on what happened here. Brad Keselowski and Kyle Busch gets him turned, and whoa, my goodness, big air by Justin Allgaier. He slams into the wall with Jamie McMurray. Let's take a slower look at that. Is this retaliation from Brad Keselowski? He gets Kyle Busch way loose, and Allgaier way in the air, up on top of McMurray, back into Kyle Busch. Keselowski with a lot of damage. All these guys are going to have to be in backup cars. Kevin Harvick takes the green flag. It's duel number 2 at Daytona. Dale Jr. with a big push from Austin Dillon. He's got the edge on Harvick. Can he clear him? Yes, out of turn number 2. Dale Earnhardt Jr. takes the lead down the back straightaway. As the cars fly by here. Kevin Harvick trying to work that inside. Dillon on the outside, but Dale Jr. is going to control this field up front and lead lap number 1 in front of Kevin Harvick. Look at Matt Kenseth on the outside. He's trying to get that 3rd lane going. He's got Chase Elliott behind them. Let's see what it can do as Chase Elliott's loose. And around he goes hard into the wall with Danica Patrick and Carl Edwards involved as well. Caution is out. Here on lap 2 in duel number 2. Big hits by the 25 and the 10. Let's take a look at what happened. He was on the outside lane. He gets loose there, and it just snaps around on him right into the 19 and the 10. Big hit into that inside wall for both Elliott and Danica Patrick. And watch Kyle Larson as he gets around the spinning Elliott and Carl Edwards. Evasive maneuvers from Kyle Larson. But this wreck has been cleaned up. Dale Jr. takes him back to green. 2 to go with a push from Logano. Man, Kevin Harvick did not get going on that restart. As you see him falling back, Denny Hamlin's going to take advantage as he jumps to the outside in front of Kevin Harvick. Down the backstretch. Now Harvick jumps to his outside. He sees that 3rd line forming. Junior does as well. He's up to block Kevin Harvick as they come off of turn 4 to the white flag. 1 lap to go. Here comes Logano on that inside. He's got a run with Denny Hamlin. Joey Logano to the inside. Dale Jr. trying to fight back on that outside. Logano versus Dale Earnhardt Jr. down the back straightaway. Earnhardt with the run here. Now Logano with the run as they go back and forth into turns 3 and 4. Coming to the checkered flag. Junior outside. Logano loose. Big push from Greg Biffle. Here they come to the line. And I don't know who won it. What a close finish for duel number 2. Going to need a replay to see what happened. Joey Logano loose off the bumper of Greg Biffle, but he still gets a big push down to the wire. Who wins it? It looks like Joey Logano gets Dale Earnhardt Jr. by inches. Here at duel number 2. Season 1 of the YCast Cup Series is underway, and it's Jimmie Johnson who leads him to green at Daytona. Joey Logano on his outside with Dale Earnhardt Jr. behind him. Jimmie Johnson on the inside with Trevor Bayne. Down the back straightaway, the field flies. Third lane forming, Joe Gibbs Racing teammates Denny Hamlin and Matt Kenseth. Joey Logano likes the outside. He jumps in front of Denny Hamlin to try and get a run on our leader, Jimmie Johnson, who leads lap number 1 in front of Trevor Bayne. Now they go to the middle, Bayne and Johnson. Logano getting that run on the high side. Johnson back to the bottom in front of Paul Menard as the field flies through turns 1 and 2. Logano clear of Johnson. Johnson stays on that inside lane. Trevor Bayne in the middle, and he gets into Hamlin. Hamlin saves it. Oh, wow. He was almost around in turn 3, but somehow he keeps that thing gathered up as Joey Logano leads lap number 2. Martin Truex Jr. on the outside with Trevor Bayne. Huge run through turns 1 and 2. Martin Truex Jr. to the front here in Daytona as the field flies out of turn number 2. And Cole Witt, he's around. Danica Patrick involved as well. Kyle Busch in it. Cautions out on the back straightaway on lap number 3. It looked like it all started with Cole Witt in the 35. Watch him at the right of your screen. There's a gap between Kasey Kahne and Danica Patrick, but it closes up really quickly, and Cole Witt still jumps up there and takes out the number 10, and Kyle Busch gets involved as well. I think Aric Almirola took a lot of damage to the back bumper. Yes, there you see a lot of tape on the front of that thing. Hopefully that car doesn't overheat. But watch again. Aric Almirola, I think, tags the back of Kyle Busch here. Yes, he does. He makes it through, but that car is definitely going to be a lot slower than the rest of the field. But it's Martin Truex Jr. who leads him back to green on lap number 4 of the Daytona 500. He's got Trevor Bayne on that outside lane. Bayne's got Dale Earnhardt Jr. and Greg Biffle helping him inch in front of Martin Truex Jr. down the back straightaway. We see that third lane forming back there as Trevor Bayne leads him through 3 and 4. He's clear of Martin Truex Jr. And here come Richard Childress Racing Cars, Menard, Austin Dillon, and Ryan Newman working the outside lane. They're already up to Dale Earnhardt Jr. and trying to get more to the outside of Martin Truex Jr. Here he comes for Trevor Bayne. Bayne goes up to block, but Paul Menard goes to the middle. He's got the run in the middle lane in front of Dale Earnhardt Jr. Paul Menard in the 27 machine to the front. Paul Menard will lead lap number 5 in front of the field, and here comes Trevor Bayne on that outside lane. Menard is gonna block him into turn 1, but here comes Dale Jr. to the inside now. He drops down in front of Martin Truex Jr. Menard to the middle. Here comes Trevor Bayne on the outside. No, he's got Dillon on his outside. He's 4 wide and going backwards. Trevor Bayne out of sight, out of mind as Dillon put him 4 wide, and it's Dale Earnhardt Jr. who's gonna lead this lap. But here comes Austin Dillon. Whoa, Denny Hamlin loose again, and Newman sideways, and he somehow saves it. Denny Hamlin was loose off the bumper of Kevin Harvick, and he is not happy about that. You do not want to do that on a super speedway. It could end in a disaster. As Austin Dillon leads him single file, Harvick loose. Sam Hornish Jr. up and over. Big rock in the tri-oval. Denny Hamlin slams the outside wall, and the caution is out for the second time today. Big wreck coming into the tri-oval as Paul Menard is in it. He was just leading. Teammate Ty Dillon involved as well. Man, we need to look at what just happened. Denny Hamlin was not happy with Kevin Harvick, but Harvick jumps to the outside. Menard blocks it. Down in front of Hamlin. Around Menard goes, and upside down is Sam Hornish Jr. Hamlin slams into him and then crashes into the outside wall. Want to slow it down and take a longer look at it here. Denny Hamlin not cutting Kevin Harvick any brakes after what happened into turn 1. Harvick jumps to the outside. Menard blocks it. Back down in front of Hamlin. No brakes from him. Menard turns straight into Sam Hornish Jr. Up and over he goes. Look at Paul Menard and Ty Dillon slam the pit road wall. And then Denny Hamlin runs into Sam Hornish Jr. And then the outside wall. Bobby Labonte actually retired on lap number 4 of this race, but there was so much action, didn't get to report on it, as Ryan Newman takes the time under caution to make the repairs to his car as he was tagged by Denny Hamlin in turn 1. And here it is again in real time, just how quickly things happen. Almost no time to react. That's how fast we go here at Daytona Super Speedway. But the wreck has been cleaned up. We're going back green. Austin Dillon leads them with 4 laps to go. Matt Kenseth jumping to the outside. He's got help from Michael Waltrip Racing Toyota's David Reagan and Clint Boyer behind him as he makes a run towards the front down the back straightaway. He's trying to take the lead from Austin Dillon into 3 and 4 as the field flies by. Coming to 3 laps to go. Matt Kenseth edges out Austin Dillon to lead this lap. Dillon side drafts, but he leaves the inside open for Martin Truex Jr. Martin Truex on the inside with Jimmie Johnson now. Here they come down the back straightaway. Aggressive side draft from Dillon. They stack up behind. Oh, it's a huge wreck on the back straightaway. Caution is out. It's the big one. On lap number 10, so many cars involved. They have flown the red flag now. They have just clogged the back straightaway. Let's take a look at what just happened on lap 10 here. Austin Dillon, aggressive side draft on Martin Truex Jr. It stacks up behind him. And just a huge wreck. I'm going to have to slow this down even more, because so much happened at once here. Like 9-10 cars involved in this one. So we see Austin Dillon just too aggressive on the side draft on Martin Truex Jr., who actually saves this car, or at least most of it. He does get into the outside wall, but it stacks up starting with McMurray and Clint Boyer. McMurray gets into Stenhouse. Jeff Gordon loops it around. Big hit for McDowell on the inside wall. Chase Elliott actually gets underneath Casey Kane back there. Trevor Baynes sliding. David Gilliland is in it. A.J. Allmendinger and Casey Mears all involved in this one on the back straightaway. Jeff Gordon actually made it to pit road. I thought he had a lot more damage in this wreck. Let's take a look here. He gets hit by Stenhouse. After that, he just spins it around. No one else runs into him. We'll see if he can get a decent finish out of continuing in this race. But the green flag is back out. 2 to go. And it's Jimmie Johnson leading the 500. Kenseth to the outside again, but Tony Stewart blocks him this time. Kenseth falling backwards on that outside as Stewart makes a run for the lead with 2 to go. Kenseth coming back with Jeff Gordon, who was just involved in that wreck. Gordon pushing Kenseth towards the front. Coming out of turn number 4. Coming to that white flag. Stewart blocks Kenseth again. White flag for Tony Stewart. Jimmie Johnson on his inside. Into turns 1 and 2. Here they come for one more time around. Who's it gonna be? Johnson loose into Stewart. Stewart going backwards 4 wide. Kenseth gets ditched by Jeff Gordon. They're all 4 wide as Johnson clears them. Here they come to the line. Johnson blocks Gordon to the checkered flag. It's Jimmie Johnson who wins the Daytona 500. Unbelievable finish. They were 4 wide all the way back. Let's take a look at it. Starting on the back straightaway, Jimmie Johnson gets into Junior and then into Stewart. Stewart gets put 4 wide as he's loose there. He falls back quickly. Kenseth looks like he's got the run now, but Gordon ditches him. And then they're all 4 wide. Tony Stewart comes back to Jeff Gordon. As Jimmie Johnson clears them off of 4, all he has to do is block from here. Jumps up in front of Jeff Gordon, blocks him there. Gordon fakes the inside, jumps the outside, but at this point, it's too little too late. Jimmie Johnson crosses the line first and wins the first ever YCAST Cup Series Daytona 500. Jimmie Johnson's gonna burn it down, put up a smoke show for the fans. Way to go, Jimmie Johnson on the victory. Here are the race results. Jimmie Johnson, your winner, of course. Jeff Gordon takes runner-up. Matt Kenseth 3rd. Dale Jr. 4th. Tony Stewart in the top 5. Austin Dillon 6th. Newman 7th. Joey Logano 8th. Matt DiBenedetto gets a top 10. And Kurt Busch finishes off that top 10. And already, half the field really wrecked in this one. 19 cars finished. 18 crashed out, involving Ricky Stenhouse, Michael McDowell, David Gilliland. They were all in the big one. And here a lot of red all the way in the back. Allmendinger, Bain, Kane, Elliott, still all in that big one on lap number 10. Sam Hornish Jr., he flipped today. He gets 29th. Paul Menard was involved in that one. Denny Hamlin as well. And then, is it too early to look at point standings? Maybe after one race. But if the playoffs started now, it would be Jimmie Johnson with the only win. And this is what it would look like. Carl Edwards, the last car in. He gets 16th place finish today. He would be the 16th driver in the playoffs. But this is not the only race before the playoffs. We've got plenty more, including next weekend. We race in the desert from Phoenix, Arizona. What an exciting race. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you next time. Green flag in the air, Joey Logano leads the field in his number 22 Penske Ford Fusion. Kurt Busch battling Matt Kenseth for second on the outside. Kenseth down through the dog leg, keeping in tow. Look at Jeff Gordon making a 3-wide move. He slides up, but can't complete that pass on Matt Kenseth. Kenseth fends him off and goes for Kurt Busch in a turn 1. Look at 3 wide, Kevin Harvick, Jeff Gordon down through the dog leg. Kevin Harvick on the inside, Jeff Gordon on that outside. Kevin Harvick really low into 3 and 4 below the yellow line. That is allowed as Logano leads lap 2, but Matt Kenseth with a run. He's to the lead. Logano crosses him over and puts him in the wall. Matt Kenseth, I'm sure he's going to get Logano back for that one. Here in turn 3, will he do it? Yes, he bumps Joey Logano out of the way. Matt Kenseth to the front on lap number 3. Keselowski into the wall. He could have a tire down. Kyle Busch put him in the wall. We'll monitor Brad Keselowski's Kurt Busch. Makes a run on Logano through the dogleg for position number 3. Keselowski with the tire down. He's into the wall as Larson almost gets involved in that. Keselowski hard into the wall. Cautions out lap number 4. Let's take a look at it. Kyle Busch ran him really wide out of turn number 4. Just never gave him any room. Put him straight into the wall. It looks intentional from here, but I always want to give the benefit of the doubt as this is the same lap. Keselowski, the tire finally goes down, and Larson, oh my goodness, barely making it through as Keselowski heads straight for the wall and destroys his car. But it was a single car wreck. Easy to clean up, so we're going back green. Matt Kenseth leads them with Harvick on his outside. 6 laps to go in Phoenix. Kevin Harvick, can he work on that outside? We saw how strong he was on the inside lane, but now he's on the outside through the dogleg and into turn 3. Matt Kenseth, and look at Jeff Gordon sliding it up 3 wide again. Kurt Busch is going to have none of that as Kenseth did fight off Kevin Harvick, but here comes Harvick to the inside. Turn 1, look at Kenseth fight back on that outside and down through the dogleg. Who's going to win this battle? Harvick in his preferred line. Oh, he's making it look easy on Matt Kenseth. Kevin Harvick to the front with 4 laps to go. The field flies by. Battle for 4th between Joey Logano, Kyle Busch. Logano wins that battle. Now it's for 5th as Jeff Gordon drives up along the outside of Kyle Busch. Busch trying that Harvick line towards the yellow line as Carl Edwards makes a 3-wide move. On the top, can he get past Gordon and Kyle Busch? Yes, he does. Carl Edwards to 5th. And look at the gap Harvick is starting to create on 2nd place. Matt Kenseth. Kevin Harvick pulling ahead. He's already into lap traffic. And he is one of our biggest movers right now, up 8 from his 9th starting spot. Justin Allgaier plus 13 from 30th. He is in 17th right now. Really good run from Justin Allgaier. Eric Almirola on this list as well. He's now up 8 as he makes a pass for Jimmie Johnson. That's for 8th place, but it's the white flag now for Kevin Harvick. 1 to go, and he has created a huge gap between he and 2nd place Matt Kenseth. All he has to do is get around the lap traffic, and this thing is his. Really stinking up the show here in the desert. He puts on a clinic and wins at Phoenix Raceway. It's Kevin Harvick, your winner. And to find the pass for the win, we have to go all the way back to about the halfway point in this race. That is when Kevin Harvick made the pass for the lead on Matt Kenseth. Taking that Harvick line, we'll have to call it, below the yellow line, making it look simple. And he never looked back as he celebrates on the front straightaway. Harvick burns it down here in Phoenix. I'll take a look at the race results. Harvick the winner. Matt Kenseth takes home runner-up position. Kurt Busch is 3rd. Joey Logano 4th. Carl Edwards 5th. Jeff Gordon 6th. Kyle Busch with that controversial move against Brad Keselowski out of turn 4. He ended up 7th. Good run for Justin Allgaier, as we mentioned. He winds up 16th today. Look at Michael McDowell, 21st place. Not bad for that team. David Reagan, 23rd. Chase Elliott, 24th. And back here, you can see just how good Harvick was, lapping all the way up to 26th. That's Ricky Stenhouse Jr. And, of course, the lone car to not finish the race today is Brad Keselowski. He gets 37th. And here's the point standings after 2 races. Kevin Harvick now locked into the playoffs. Matt Kenseth, Jeff Gordon, Joey Logano, these guys all with really good cushions. And you can look and see from 13th to 20th, only separated by 9 points. Only 2 races in, of course. Plenty more racing to go before the playoffs start. It's anyone's game right now. And speaking of more races, up next, a couple of short tracks. Martinsville in Virginia will be next weekend. And the following weekend after that, it's Bristol, the last great Coliseum in Tennessee. But thank you all for watching, and I will see you next weekend. Jamie McMurray leads the field to green here at Martinsville. Watch for these drivers to get to the inside lane as soon as they're clear. That is the preferred groove around Martinsville. You see the first 2 cars on that inside line are clear. Here's Kyle Busch. He started 2nd place. He's already fallen back to 4th behind Ryan Newman. Can he slot in front of Tony Stewart? It looks like he'll be clear coming into turn 1 as lap 1 is complete. Yes, Kyle Busch. He started 2nd. He is now in the 4th spot. Look at Kevin Harvick. He's stuck on that outside. He's got Brad Keselowski and AJ Allmendinger to his inside. That outside lane going backwards right now, and he's going to go further back as Allmendinger missed the corner and gets into him. Harvick 3 wide back there as we have a battle for the lead. Casey Kane right on the bumper of Jamie McMurray. He's got to run down the back straightaway, and it's the 5 car moving to the front on lap number 3 here at Martinsville. That's Casey Kane for Hendrick Motorsports. Flyby of the field as we have a wreck on the backstretch. Big wreck here. Oh, Bobby Labonte slams that wall. Casey Mears, this is where the emergency vehicles are. He took that as an escape route. DiBenedetto went to the garage immediately. We're going to need to see a replay. A lot of carnage on the backstretch. All these cars were running towards the back of the field. Take a look at the bottom right here. Watch the 10 and the 9 car. Danica Patrick, Sam Hornish Jr. Well, it looks like Danica just got tied off the corner and came down into Ricky Stenhouse and Sam Hornish Jr. Matt Benedetto went straight over Ricky Stenhouse Jr. You see Casey Mears stuck behind the emergency vehicle there. We'll take a look at it again. And, yeah, it just gets tight off the corner into that outside wall. Big hit for Labonte into that opening where the emergency vehicles go. But we're back green. Casey Kane leading the field with McMurray on his outside. Ryan Newman running 3rd. Casey Kane already clear off of turn 2. And we got another wreck. Logano and Busch around. Big hit for Clint Bowyer on the backstretch. Caution out again. Another car down in this escape route. But a big hit for Bowyer and Kyle Busch. Let's take a look at it. Brad Keselowski. Oh, we have seen these two get into it a lot recently. And Keselowski just tags Kyle Busch there. Bowyer with nowhere to go. The track got so crowded. These guys back here had to come to a complete stop. But Bowyer, Stewart, and then Logano. Keselowski takes out his own teammate with this move. Minimal damage, though. He will continue, but these guys are out. Bowyer, Busch, and Tony Stewart. But the track is cleaned up, and we are ready to go back green. Casey Kane, Ryan Newman, Jamie McMurray. McMurray looking down low, big move. Kane and Newman around. Caution out again, and it takes out the leaders, Casey Kane and Ryan Newman. We need to look at this. Jamie McMurray, I think he's blocking this move by AJ Allmendinger, but he gets shoved into Kane and Newman, and around they go. Casey Kane having such a good run going. And now he is repairing damages on pit road. You see Newman back there in the garage. He is out, but we're back green. 2-car wreck. We've cleaned it up. Jamie McMurray out front. Everyone plays nice on this restart now. McMurray clear of Keselowski. Jeff Gordon lurking there. He's to the inside. It's a 3-wide move. Jeff Gordon on AJ Allmendinger as Keselowski's cleared for second. Now Gordon trying to get the edge on Allmendinger, and he does as McMurray leads lap 7. 3 to go. JB McMurray, can he hang on against the 2-car? The 2-car looks really strong right now. And he's to the inside of JB McMurray. Bad Brad Keselowski for Team Penske. He's out front in his Ford Fusion. JB McMurray falls to second. 2 to go for Brad Keselowski. Now Jeff Gordon making a move on JB McMurray. And a turn 1, Jeff Gordon looking good right now as he closes in on Brad Keselowski. He's to the inside. Keselowski on that outside. The inside lane has been the preferred lane all day long, and it's Jeff Gordon using it to his advantage. White flag in the air for Gordon. Keselowski to his bumper and moves him. Brad Keselowski moves Gordon as we have a car stopped to turn 4. The caution is out. This race is not over yet. No, sir. We've got overtime coming up. Let's take a look at what happened to Matt Kenseth back here. This is in turn 4. He's on the outside here. There looks like there's a stack up, and he just gets the short end of the stick on that one. But no, this race is not over. Here are some overtime rules in the YCAST Cup Series. No race will ever end under caution, which is why we have a restart coming up. And if the caution flag waves, we will add one more lap, so there will be an 11th lap. And the leader does not have lane choice for restarts in the YCAST Cup Series. Must restart from the inside lane. And that leader is Brad Keselowski on the inside. White flag again. Can they do it this time? McMurray looking as Gordon now trying to make the outside work. We haven't seen this work all day as Keselowski's loose there. Gordon with the edge. Coming into turn 3 and 4. Keselowski on the inside. Can he make anything work? Loose again. Keselowski as Gordon takes the win at Martinsville. Oh man, Jeff Gordon on the outside making it work. Keselowski was loose there on the exit. Gordon takes advantage and wins at Martinsville. Congratulations, Jeff Gordon. He wins at Martinsville and burns it down on the front stretch in front of the fans. Race results: Gordon, of course, the winner. Brad Keselowski second. Martin Truex Jr. takes third. Jamie McMurray led the most laps today. He gets fourth, and Jimmy Johnson rounds off that top 5. See Greg Biffle, Eric Almirola, Austin Dillon, Paul Menard. All these guys getting top 10s. Dale Jr. 13th. Carl Edwards, David Reagan, Kevin Harvick, Joey Logano, Kurt Busch, Casey Kane, and Michael McDowell all in the top 20. Matt Kenseth got turned very late in this race. He ends up 23rd. Here are all the wrecks, of course, all the DNFs in red. Ryan Newman gets taken out by McMurray. Tony Stewart, Kyle Busch, Clint Boyer, all the cause of Brad Keselowski. And then Danica Patrick, all the way to Bobby Labonte, were the first caution. Point standings: Jeff Gordon's now in. Matt Kenseth, after he got turned late, his cushion drops a little bit, but 22 points, not bad. Ryan Newman +1, Keselowski -1 right now. Out of the playoffs for him. That's the point standings after 3 races. We're not done yet. We've got more coming up next weekend. It's Bristol Motor Speedway, the last great Coliseum. That'll be a fun one. Can't wait to see you there. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you next time. Green flag in the air, and it's Kurt Busch who leads them in a turn 1. Kurt Busch on the inside. Carl Edwards way up at the top on his outside. Neck and neck down the back straightaway. Carl Edwards trying to get the advantage, but Kurt Busch is going to roll that bottom lane as Carl Edwards sails it along the top. Kurt Busch will lead this first lap barely over Carl Edwards, who looks strong early here. He's riding that top lane. He likes to run up there. Can he clear Kurt Busch off of the corner with the run? Not quite. Kurt Busch still working on the bottom as they enter turn 3. Matt Kenseth, Ryan Newman battling for third. Kenseth on the inside as Carl Edwards finally clears Kurt Busch for the lead. Matt Kenseth trying to edge out Newman. Looks like Newman's stronger on that middle lane. Look at Keselowski all the way at the top. He's not going to be able to get alongside Ryan Newman, but Casey Kane's making a 3-wide move on Matt Kenseth. into turn 3. Casey Kane sliding it on the bottom. He's going to make it work and get around Matt Kenseth as Carl Edwards continues to lead here at Bristol. Kurt Busch, Ryan Newman clear in second and third. Casey Kane battling Brad Keselowski for fourth. Keselowski on the outside. Look at Newman making a move for second. On the inside of Kurt Busch. Can he clear him? Not quite. Side by side as we have a caution on the track. Car around. It's Bobby Labonte. Not sure exactly how he got turned around, but he was running 37th of 37. Here he is exiting turn 2. Let's take a look. Oh, he got loose and slams the outside wall, slides it back down, and it looks like a single car spin just all on his own. One car wreck, easy to clean up. We're going back green. Carl Edwards on the inside, Ryan Newman on the outside. Look at Kenseth making it 3 wide on Brad Keselowski, and Newman is edging ahead of Carl Edwards in that middle lane. Whoa, Keselowski around, collects Harvick and Kyle Larson. Caution's out again. And if I'm not mistaken, it looked like he was just in front of the 18 of Kyle Busch. These two continue to go at it. Looks like Kyle Busch gets Keselowski turned right off of turn 2 and takes out Kevin Harvick and Kyle Larson, both just innocent bystanders in this feud between Kyle Busch and Brad Keselowski that seemingly has no end. Week after week, these two get into each other. Last week, it was Busch that wrecked. This week, it's Keselowski. Cars are all cleaned up. We're going back racing. Ryan Newman takes some green with Casey Kane on his outside. Edwards is in third now. Look at Clint Bowyer going 3 wide. He's on the outside of Casey Kane. Off of turn 2 as Newman has taken the lead. Trying to sail away is that 31 RCR machine. Clint Bowyer on the outside of Casey Kane. Neither one edging out the other right now. As we have 3 laps to go. Bowyer is now getting ahead of Kane, and he's going after Ryan Newman for the lead. The 15 Michael Waltrip Racing car as Casey Kane is back in this mix. 3 wide. Now Newman falls to third. Casey Kane battles Clint Bowyer for the lead. Bowyer edging him out off the corner. Newman lose off of 4. He gathers it up. We stay green. We're still racing. Kenseth clear for third. And Kane and Bowyer continue to battle out with 2 to go. Who can get the edge? Kenseth, he's in this mix as well. Don't count him out yet. As Clint Bowyer fights off Casey Kane. Riding that outside lane. Right up against the wall. Kane trying to edge. He's got it. White flag. Here comes Matt Kenseth. 3 wide for the lead into turn 1. Which one of these 3 drivers is going to get the win? Kenseth inside. Kane in the middle. Clint Bowyer on the outside. Neck and neck and neck down the back straightaway. Coming to the checkered flag. Out of turn 4. Matt Kenseth with the advantage. And he's going to do it. Matt Kenseth wins at Bristol Motor Speedway. What a battle on the last lap. 3 wide, almost the entire lap. I think it was the whole lap as Kenseth finally gets the advantage. Kane tries to fight it back, but right there, that's the advantage Matt Kenseth had over Casey Kane and Clint Bowyer. Matt Kenseth celebrating the victory here at Bristol Motor Speedway. Congratulations, Matt Kenseth. He's the race winner. Casey Kane, runner-up. Clint Bowyer, third. Jimmie Johnson takes fourth. Ryan Newman in that top 5. Kyle Busch with another incident. He takes the top 10 today in 7th. Kurt Busch, brother to Kyle, in 9th. And Jeff Gordon rounds off that top 10. Martin Truex Jr., 13th. Jamie McMurray, good run. Paul Menard, Greg Biffle. These guys are all right at the cut line right now. Dale Jr., 18th. David Reagan, a solid day, top 20. Matt DiBenedetto, top 25. And the DNFs in red. Keselowski, Harvick, Larson, all on the Kyle Busch incident. And Bobby Labonte, self-spin off of turn number 2. Point standings. After 4 races in, 4 different winners, 4 locked in to the playoffs. Paul Menard right on that cut line. He's -1. Biffle and McMurray we talked about. +5 for Biffle, +8 for McMurray. Really close on that cut line. Some of these guys had good days. Logano, Kurt Busch, good cushion of the cut line, 30 and 27. You're going to need a good cushion because coming up next, it's the Wild Talladega Super Speedway. Can't wait for that one. And thank you all for coming to Bristol. I'll see you next time. Green flag is in the air, and it's Trevor Bayne who leads him into turn 1. Teammate Ricky Stenhouse Jr. on his outside, getting a push from Dale Earnhardt Jr. He's going to drop down in front of Bayne to lead that inside line. Both Roush cars working together. Dale Jr. on the outside. Gordon clears him. Now he's going to jump in front of his Hendrick Motorsports teammate as Ricky Stenhouse Jr. leads lap 1. Here comes Greg Biffle up the middle, the third Roush car. He's made his way to the front. He's got Joey Logano pushing him. Now he's going to take the lead and drop down. Now 3 Roush cars lined up on the bottom as they're 3 wide for the lead. Joey Logano in the middle with Kasey Kahne. Whoa, real loose there by Logano. Somehow he saves that as Gordon in the outside lane gets an edge over the other 2 lanes. Gordon leading. Kyle Busch and Keselowski. Oh, and Keselowski turns him. Busch is up on top of Menard into the wall. Big wreck on the backstretch. Caution's out for the first time today on lap 3. And it starts again with Keselowski and Busch. This has continued. This has happened every single race. These two find a way to wreck each other. Look at Brad Keselowski. It's almost like he's got locked on to the 18. He has to wreck him. I was just wondering when this feud is going to end, but look at what damage this causes. Look at Biffle slam the wall as Kyle Busch up on top of Menard and into the wall. AJ Allmendinger collected as well. We'll take another look at it, but it's Keselowski right on the left rear of Kyle Busch's car. Just turns him, and on the straightaway, they're 3 wide. It's such a dangerous move. There's no reason to do this. This has to stop between these two. Keselowski will continue. He got repaired on pit road. As we're back green, Jeff Gordon with a push from Kurt Busch on the inside. Gordon leads him through 1 and 2. Look at Chip Ganassi racing cars up high. Kasey Kahne joins him. So does Dale Jr. Jeff Gordon, will he jump up? Yes, he does. 3 Hendrick cars in front of 2 Chip Ganassi. Here comes Matt Kenseth up the middle. He's got Denny Hamlin, his teammate, behind. Jeff Gordon leads that lap. Now they come back down to block Kurt Busch. Kasey Kahne up top with a run with Kyle Larson. No, Larson and McMurray. They're going 4 wide on Kasey Kahne. And coming to the front, big run for the 42 and the 1. Kyle Larson, your new leader here at Talladega. Into turn 1 they go on the high side. Kasey Kahne dropping down to get connected with his 2 other teammates. Can he get a run? He side drops Kyle Larson. We got a wreck behind. Matt DiBenedetto involved. Danica Patrick. Big wreck on the backstretch. Kevin Harvick's in it. Eric Almirola. Casey Mears. And Martin Truex Jr. all caught up in this one. We saw Kevin Harvick drive away. Oh, man. What happened back here? It looked like DiBenedetto was sideways. Let's take a look. He's up on the high side in front of Carl Edwards. And, oh, he just got really loose off of the corner. Danica Patrick in the smoke, nowhere to go. A lot of air for that 83 car. See David Gilliland's in it. Harvick spins. Keselowski is in another wreck. Ty Dillon involved as well. A lot of cars in this one. One more look at it at full speed. He just gets loose. Man, that's a big hit from the 10 car. A lot of these cars made their way to pit road. Martin Truex Jr., Ty Dillon. Keselowski, more repairs on his car. And Kevin Harvick as well as Larson takes him into the restart. Kasey Kahne on the outside. Can he get in front of that Chip Ganassi racing duo? He's got Kurt Busch and Jimmie Johnson helping him. He's edging ahead of the 42. As a third lane forms, the Roush cars are trying to come back in this one. As Kasey Kahne leads lap number 7 up in front of the field. Kyle Larson, Jamie McMurray still working together. Kurt Busch jumps to the outside. They're 3 wide for the lead. Kurt Busch, Kasey Kahne, and Kyle Larson. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. and Trevor Bayne working on that outside with Kurt Busch trying to get back to the front. Kurt Busch loose again, and still he's going to lead that lap. Man, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. giving him a big push. Here they come down the back. Stenhouse loose into Larson. Larson's up and over and flipping down the backstretch. Caution's out again, and it's Kyle Larson. Big air and flipping wildly down the backstretch. Both Chip Ganassi Racing cars involved. Man, what happened here? Stenhouse made an aggressive move. He was not clear. Kasey Kahne was there. Kyle Larson gets turned around and blows over in front of the field. Barrel rolls a couple of times and comes to rest upside down. Trevor Bayne, the pole sitter, involved as well. We're going to really slow it down here. A quarter speed as Ricky Stenhouse Jr. just comes down in front of Kahne. Kahne was there. And Larson, man, once these things get turned around, they are up and over. McMurray actually slams that inside wall. He goes off screen as Larson barrel rolling on the wall. Might have to invest in some catch fencing. Fans getting the full experience with this one, but 5 cars involved. Kasey Kahne was in it as well. And here it is again in full speed. See just how chaotic it is at these speeds. Man, what a tough break for Larson and McMurray. Both had strong cars today. Kasey Kahne on pit road for repairs. Ricky Stenhouse Jr., the team has left him out there. We'll see what the damage is on his car, but he is still out there and getting a push from Jimmie Johnson. Down the backstretch, Johnson to his outside. He's got a tire rub. What is going to happen to that 17? Looks like the rub has cleared itself as Kurt Busch gets a push from Jeff Gordon down the front stretch and coming to 2 to go. Kurt Busch to the outside now with Gordon and Austin Dillon on the inside. Look at Ricky Stenhouse Jr. coming back up the middle. Jimmie Johnson's going to pull in front of him through the middle. A huge push from the 17. The 48 gets way out front. He's going to drop back down in front of Gordon and coming to the white flag. One more time around at Talladega, and it's Jimmie Johnson leading. Look at Ricky Stenhouse Jr. in third. He drops to the middle. Here comes Stenhouse. Oh, he turns Jimmie Johnson. Johnson in the wall as Austin Dillon takes the lead. No caution will come out as Dale Jr. jumps to Dillon's outside. Here they come to the line, side by side. And I think Dale Earnhardt Jr. got Austin Dillon at the line. What a close finish here at Talladega Super Speedway. We got to see that again. Dale Jr. versus Austin Dillon to the line. And it is Dale Earnhardt Jr. who will win at Talladega. What a finish. And look at Denny Hamlin. Looks like he got 4th across the line backwards. What a finish. And what a wild race it was today. Dale Earnhardt Jr. is your winner at Talladega as he burns it down for the fans. Race results: Jr. the winner, Austin Dillon runner-up, Michael McDowell strong 3rd place, Denny Hamlin backwards in 4th, Joey Logano is 5th, Kurt Busch 6th, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. had quite an eventful day, he's 7th. And here's the back half of the top 20. Matt Kenseth, good finish in 13th. Kevin Harvick was in one of the big wrecks. He ends up 21st. Martin Truex was also in that wreck, 18th. Kasey Kahne was up front most of the day. He ends up 17th. Jimmie Johnson leading on the last lap. He ends up 25th. And, of course, the red, the DNFs. Kyle Larson, what a strong car he and his teammate McMurray had. They end up 26th and 27th today. Here's the point standings after 5 races. Joey Logano and Kurt Busch both had top 10s today. They hold a strong cushion over the cut line. Kasey Kahne, though, from 11th on back, really close right now, only plus 10 for Kahne. Aric Almirola was in a wreck today. He is only plus 7. Denny Hamlin, a top 5, puts him above the cut line. Up next, maybe a less chaotic race, probably good for our drivers. It's Kansas Speedway. That will be our next race. And what a race it was today. I'll see you next time. Green flag is in the air, and it's the 88 of Dale Earnhardt Jr. who leads him into turn 1, already clear of Harvick. Harvick battling the 19 of Carl Edwards. He's clear of him, and Edwards is 3 wide with Clint Bowyer and Ryan Newman as Kyle Busch gives his teammate a push into turn 3. Edwards looks to take that 3rd spot as Dale Earnhardt Jr. leads lap number 1 over Kevin Harvick. Kyle Busch taking 4th from Newman and Bowyer. Bowyer slipping back next to Matt Kenseth, and Brad Keselowski makes it 3 wide on Joey Logano and Jeff Gordon. Brad Keselowski looks to have a fast car today. Can he clear his teammate Joey Logano? Yes, he does, and he's got Gordon as well. As Dale Jr. continues to lead, Harvick trying to keep pace right behind him. Jr. leading in a turn 1, and Brad Keselowski, he's got the speed today. He takes his Penske Ford past Clint Bowyer on that bottom lane, and he looks to get Newman with his run off the corner as well. Keselowski is moving. He's going to catch Kyle Busch. We know they have not had the best of interactions. At some point, he's going to catch him with the speed he has right now as Jr. continues to lead. Look at Keselowski. He's closing that gap. Now he's next to Matt Kenseth. Here he comes off of turn 2. Down the backstretch side by side with the 20 of Kenseth, and he clears him. Kyle Busch is next for Keselowski as Dale Jr. reaches lap traffic now. Look at this, 3 wide up at the top. Nothing stopping that 88 right now. Here's Keselowski to the bumper and moves him. Busch loose, keeps it off the wall. Matt Kenseth gets to his bumper and gives him a push down the back straightaway. But that has got to be the cleanest interaction between these two drivers. They have not been friendly recently as Dale Jr. continues to lap cars. But where does he go here? Gives Patrick a push and to the bottom for a 3 wide move. Jr. making it look easy. Harvick trying to follow. And look at Brad Keselowski. Huge move on Carl Edwards. That's for 3rd. He is coming for that lead. I think he can catch Dale Jr. Whoa, we got one around. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. saves it. Down pit road, he spins. Caution is out for the first time today on lap 7. Let's take a look at what happened. Jimmie Johnson behind him and takes him out. This looks like what we saw at Talladega. Roles reversed. It was Ricky Stenhouse on the last lap that got Jimmy. Maybe this is payback. We'll watch it again as the free pass goes to David Reagan. He'll be back on the lead lap. Yeah, looks pretty intentional. Dale Jr. takes him back. 3 to go. In a turn 1, Keselowski all over his bumper to the inside. Keselowski's there. They get turned. Jr. into the wall. He's flipping down the backstretch, spinning on his top, and comes to rest on all 4 tires. Caution is out after the restart. And I think this started with Kyle Busch. Watch, does he get into Keselowski? It looks like he does. Takes out Keselowski and Dale Jr., the 2 fastest cars all day. And it ends horribly for the 88, spinning upside down the backstretch. This has to be the final straw. The YCast officials have to step in and clean this up. This feud has cost a lot of drivers, and now it costs really the 2 fastest all day. Dale Jr. and Brad Keselowski will end up 36th and 37th. But the restart is here, 2 to go. Kyle Busch is that leader. Kevin Harvick getting a good push from Clint Bowyer on the outside. Harvick is clear down the backstretch. Carl Edwards makes it 3 wide. 3 wide for 2nd. Can Harvick pull away, or can Edwards clear him and catch him? Edwards looks strong right now as Harvick takes the white flag. 1 to go for the 4 car. But Edwards, here he comes. He's running that middle lane, trying to catch Kevin Harvick one more time down the backstretch. He's there. He's to the inside. Harvick's late to block. Into turn 3 and 4. Edwards looks to be faster here on the exit. It's Carl Edwards edging ahead. And Carl Edwards wins at Kansas. What a drive by Carl Edwards to catch Kevin Harvick and get around him at the last second here on the exit of turn 4. Down the front stretch onto the apron, and it's the 19 who will take the victory over Kevin Harvick at Kansas Speedway. Carl Edwards burns it down for the crowd here. Way to go, Carl Edwards. Finishing results, Edwards first, Kevin Harvick. This is actually his first top 10, top 15 even, since his win at Phoenix. So great run for him. He came oh so close. Kyle Busch gets third after some interesting move on Keselowski and Dale Jr. Here is 13th to 24th. David Gilliland, I'd like to mention, 17th place. I believe he started 32nd today. Good run for him. And here are all the cars that ended up a lap down. And of course, Dale Jr. and Brad Keselowski, the final two today as they got wrecked out. Here are the point standings after 6 races. We have had 6 different winners. Joey Logano, Kurt Busch, very comfortable over the cut line. The closer you get, the closer it is. Austin Dillon plus 17. And then down to Denny Hamlin, only 9 above. Jamie McMurray, only 4 above. But what a great finish here at today's race. Next up on the schedule, it's Darlington Speedway. That should be a fun one to watch. But until next time, thank you all for watching, and I will see you there in Darlington. Green flag in the air. Kyle Busch leads the field in a turn 1. He's already got a pretty good lead as Kyle Larson and Ryan Newman battle it out down the backstretch for second. Larson on that low line. He's going to try and slide up. He does as Newman tries to cross him over, but Larson is going to prevail on the exit of 4 as Kyle Busch leads lap 1. Larson the high side in turn 1. Busch up to block a little bit. Now he's back down. Larson's got room up at the top. Oh, we got a crash already. Turn 1. David Reagan, AJ Allmendinger, Trevor Bayne, and Danica Patrick. Early lap 2. The caution is out. Let's take a look at what happened here. The 3 wide to Benedetto on the inside. Allmendinger just comes up in front of David Reagan. He's already there. Not clears the 47 and 4-car pileup into turn 1. We'll take another look at it here. This is in full speed. Allmendinger just comes up, and Bayne and Patrick nowhere to go for them. And during this caution, Bobby Labonte seems to have electrical problems. He is stuck on pit road as the leaders take the green on the restart. It's the Kyle and Kyle show. Busch on the inside, Larson on the outside, and he's making it work up top. Good exit off the corner. Now Harvick pressuring Kyle Busch for second. Harvick way low in turn 3 and 4, but it's Kyle Larson up front. He's going to lead lap 3. So we watch the field barrel through turns 1 and 2. Larson, Harvick, Kyle Busch, your top 3. Greg Biffle there in 4th, and Denny Hamlin 5th. Here's a battle. Matt Kenseth, Kurt Busch. Menard makes a move, and he takes out Kenseth, and Kurt Busch cautions out again. Lap number 4. It's the 20 car, the 41, and the 27. Paul Menard made an aggressive move. Let's look at it. He had a run 3 wide, and he took it to the bottom. And he just gets into Kenseth there. Kenseth along for the ride with Kurt Busch as well. So a lot of cars are going to be out early here. Bobby Labonte, his car did, in fact, go to the garage. So a plethora of cars out already as we get ready for the restart. Larson and Harvick now up front. Harvick trying to make the outside work. Larson on the bottom. Here they come up with 2. Larson loose. Kyle Busch didn't give him any room. Now they're 3 wide. And somehow Kyle Larson saved that car from wrecking. And he's into Busch. Busch is around. Denny Hamlin in it. And Martin Truex Jr. as well. Caution's out again. And it's for the 3 cars on the front stretch. Kyle Larson was loose off of turn 2. That created this 3 wide situation off turn 4. And Larson gets into Busch. Busch tries to save it. Denny Hamlin trying to avoid the spinning Busch. He ends up spinning into Martin Truex Jr. Look at Stenhouse barely avoid this. But 3 more cars out of it on lap number 6. Our 3rd caution just after halfway. And there you see the damage. But another restart. It's Kevin Harvick and Greg Biffle. Biffle on the outside with his teammate Ricky Stenhouse Jr. behind him. Biffle trying to get ahead. Larson loose again, and he's hard into the wall with Joey Logano. Another caution. Lap 7 just after the restart. Kyle Larson, we saw how loose he was earlier. And it just didn't stop here. Very loose, couldn't save it this time. Hard into the wall and into Joey Logano as well. 2 cars involved in this one. The cleanup is done. Let's see if we can finish this thing. Greg Biffle, Kevin Harvick, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. That inside line got a better restart than Harvick on the outside. Biffle, Stenhouse, and even Jimmie Johnson in third is clear now. Here comes Stenhouse. Ricky Stenhouse versus his teammate Greg Biffle. And it's Stenhouse with the speed on the bottom. He's going to clear Greg Biffle with 2 to go as the field flies by the start line. Here comes Jimmie Johnson now for second on Greg Biffle. He's clear out of turn 2 and sets his sights on Stenhouse. These two have had a couple run-ins recently. Let's see how they play now. Coming to the white flag. Johnson to the inside. Stenhouse tried to block, but it was too late. Now they go into turn 1. Stenhouse with the advantage. He's into the wall. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. hits the wall. Can he get back to Jimmie Johnson? Here they come to the final corners. Stenhouse sends it in. He's into the wall again. And Jimmie Johnson's going to come off the corner and win at Darlington. What a thrilling last lap between Ricky Stenhouse Jr. and Jimmie Johnson. Stenhouse hits the wall in 1 and 2 and then gives it everything he's got. And a 3 and 4 slides it past Johnson, but into the wall. And Johnson's going to scoot away and take the victory here in South Carolina. Jimmie Johnson will celebrate his second victory of the season as he burns it down for the fans here at Darlington. Race results: Jimmie Johnson the winner, Stenhouse in a thrilling second place. Chase Elliott, who started 34th today, is going to end up third. What a run for him. Greg Biffle was top 5 all day. He gets 4th. Kevin Harvick ends up 5th. Here are some other notable finishes. Michael McDowell, top 15. David Gilliland there in 17th. DiBenedetto gets a top 20. Of course, a lot of that comes from just how many cars we had wreck out. And here are the red cars from 25th on back. Larson had a tough day. Kyle Busch seems like he's crashing every other race. Denny Hamlin gets involved. Kurt Busch is in it. Joey Logano as well. They were both having really solid season up to this point. And here is the point standings. Jimmie Johnson, the first to get 2 wins. But look at that cut line. It's pretty close between Tony Stewart and Denny Hamlin. McMurray, 10 above. Austin Dillon, 18. Greg Biffle with a good day today. He's only 5 out. Chase Elliott and Michael McDowell there as well. Well, that's it from Darlington. Up next, it'll be Charlotte Motor Speedway for the longest race of the YCAST Cup Series season. But thank you all for sticking around for this one, and I will see you next time. We're racing at Charlotte as Martin Truex Jr. takes the field to green in a turn 1. Martin Truex Jr. fights off Jimmie Johnson and clears for the lead off of turn 2. Denny Hamlin now fighting Jimmie Johnson on that inside. Joey Logano tries to follow as Hamlin clears that 48, while Martin Truex Jr. leads lap 1. Here's Jimmie Johnson now. He's already fallen back to 4th, trying to fight back against Joey Logano on the outside lane, but Logano's going to prevail and clear him off the corner. Here's the 18 and the 2. We know how much fun they've had together this season. Busch gets into Keselowski, and he slides up the track. Now they're 4 wide off of turn 4. Still 4 wide down the straightaway, and Tony Stewart, he's going to grab a couple spots out of that as Denny Hamlin pressures Martin Truex for the lead. He's to the inside. Truex is going to lead this lap, but it's a fight now as they come upon lap traffic already here on lap 4. Bobby Labonte trying to get out of the way as Hamlin and Truex side by side into turn 3. Hamlin with the advantage off of turn 4, and it's Denny Hamlin who's going to lead this lap. Truex falls to 2nd place. The field flying by here in 1 and 2. Look at Joey Logano on the outside of Martin Truex Jr. He's going to try and take that 2nd spot. Joey Logano trying that outside lane against the 78, and he's got it as Denny Hamlin navigates lap traffic. Here's Matt DiBenedetto trying to stay on the lead lap. That gives Logano an advantage as we got one around. Carl Edwards spinning out of control, and the caution's out for the first time today. Carl Edwards spirals out of control all the way down near the safety vehicles. Let's see what happened here. He's on the inside of Austin Dillon, and he just loses it. Slams the outside wall, and then spins out of control all the way to pit road and almost into the pace car. You're going to have to back that pace car up behind the pit road wall. But this caution comes out at an interesting time, because if the field pits now, they will not have enough fuel to make it to the end. They'll be about 2 laps short. So we'll see if some guys try to make the distance, or will they just pit for fuel with a couple to go. Here they come down pit road now. Joey Logano, he's kind of far up in his box. He might have to back up to get out. Look at Kenseth. Kenseth's right in front of him. This is going to cost Logano valuable time coming off pit road as he backs out to get around Kenseth. Truex is going to win that race off of pit road. Johnson second, and Logano falls to 4th coming off pit road. So that did cost him a few spots. However, a couple of cars stayed out. Greg Biffle and Danica Patrick. Interesting strategy as we got one speeding on pit road. It's Brad Keselowski, so he'll have to restart at the back. Let's see how those old tires do on the restart. Greg Biffle will take the green flag, and already Jimmie Johnson jumps to the outside. Fresher tires making it look easy off of turn 2. Logano and Kenseth to follow. Logano, very aggressive block on Matt Kenseth as he jumps to the outside and goes for the lead on Jimmie Johnson. Side by side into turn 1. Logano looking with the advantage on that high side now. Logano clears Jimmie Johnson. Joey Logano to the lead. And we got a 3-wide battle here. Tony Stewart cracks the top 5 for the first time today. Back up front, Joey Logano hasn't gotten rid of the 48 yet. Jimmie Johnson jumping to the outside to fight Joey Logano. They're side by side again off of turn 2. Jimmie Johnson taking the lead. Joey Logano fights back on that inside lane, but Johnson prevails on that top lane. Jimmie Johnson's going to lead lap number 9 in front of Joey Logano. There's Martin Truex Jr. trying to recover from that restart. He lost a couple spots, but he's back up to 3rd. Here's 3 wide. Kyle Busch moving through the field. He moves to the top 10 with that 3-wide pass on Bowyer and Harvick. Martin Truex Jr. to the inside of Joey Logano. That's for 2nd. Truex trying to find that lead back as he fights Joey Logano off of turn 2. Now goes for the 48 as they close in on lap traffic once again. Danica Patrick on those old tires falling back. She's already going to go a lap down to Jimmie Johnson. Johnson gets around her. Here comes Truex to the outside. Truex with a run. Oh, Jimmie Johnson loose. Loose again. Somehow keeps it going. Truex fighting on that outside against Jimmie Johnson. Heavy lap traffic in front of our leaders as they fight side by side into turn 1. Jimmie Johnson inside. Martin Truex Jr. making that outside work. Now they're 4 wide with Justin Allgaier and Cole Winn on that outside. Side by side first, and side by side for 3rd as Logano and Kenseth battle now. Truex and Johnson still side by side. They can't figure out who's going to take this lead as they battle it out with 7 laps to go. Off of turn number 2, Joey Logano peaks. He's making it 3 wide. Jimmie Johnson's going to slip back to 4th. Truex with a push from Matt Kenseth on that outside. And Truex is going to lead this lap. Remember, they're still going to have to pit for fuel as Greg Biffle finally made his pit stop. So he's going to have fresher tires as Truex finally clear for this lead. Not really under pressure as we see Jimmie Johnson. Could he be saving fuel? Is this why he's falling back? This could be a strategy as Matt Kenseth goes for the lead now on Martin Truex Jr. side by side into 1 and 2. Down the backstretch they go. You see how much fresher tires mean as Greg Biffle, he was 2 laps down. Now he's only 1 lap down as Matt Kenseth takes the lead from Martin Truex Jr. Only 4 to go. They should be pitting within the next couple of laps. We'll see if anyone tries to go the distance as we see Kyle Busch making a late race charge. He's into 3rd with that move on Joey Logano, and he's looking for more. Matt Kenseth, Martin Truex Jr., and Kyle Busch. He's moving into 2nd. Kyle Busch gets around Martin Truex Jr., and this should be the lap. We see pit stops. Could some drivers try to go the distance? They'll be a couple laps short. We'll see if anyone can save enough fuel as Matt Kenseth brings them to pit road. Busch stays out, and a lot of guys coming to pit road. Johnson stays out as well. So Kyle Busch stays out, 2 to go. Does he have enough fuel to make it to the end? No, it looks like he's slowing. He's run out of gas. Kyle Busch out of gas with 2 to go. Jimmie Johnson takes the lead now. Aric Almirola, David Ragan, Matt DiBenedetto still on the track. White flag in the air, and he's slowing. Jimmie Johnson has slowed up. He's run out of fuel as well. Here comes Almirola to the lead. Aric Almirola and David Ragan, do they have enough fuel? Almirola, he's out. He slides it on the backstretch. David Ragan takes the lead. Coming off of turn 4, David Ragan's going to save enough fuel and win at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Unbelievable. David Ragan saved enough fuel. And here's what happened on the backstretch. Almirola runs out right in front of David Ragan. Ragan nowhere to go but into the bumper of the 43. But David Ragan, he saved enough to win it. And he's even got enough to do a burnout. David Ragan celebrates on the front stretch in front of the fans. Here's the finishing results to today's race. David Ragan, enough fuel. He wins it. Matt Kenseth ends up second. Logano third. Martin Truex Jr. fourth. Kurt Busch finishes the top 5. Aric Almirola was able to coast down pit road for an 8th place finish. So not bad for him as he ran out on the last lap. Kyle Busch ran out with 2 to go. He ended up coasting to pit road and filled up. He ends up 18th in that 18 car. Other drivers here in the top 20. Matt DiBenedetto 21st. And Jimmie Johnson, he ran out of gas with 1 lap to go. He was not able to coast anywhere. And he ends up last on the lead lap. And of course, Carl Edwards, the only car to wreck out of today's race. But here's the playoff standings now that David Ragan is locked in. Makes it really tight on that cut line for guys like Tony Stewart, Jamie McMurray, and Denny Hamlin. And even Kasey Kahne and Austin Dillon, who are both plus 19. You never know who could win these, as we saw David Ragan win it today. So even a 19-point cushion may not be as safe as you think. So which driver's going to lock in a playoff spot next? We find out at the Monster Mile. It's Dover Motor Speedway. But that's it from Charlotte. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you next time. Green flag is in the air, and it's Jimmie Johnson who leads him into turn 1. Kasey Kahne, not a good start. He's already fallen back as Johnson is clear off of turn number 2 as the field thunders down the back straightaway. Kurt Busch on the inside of Kasey Kahne. That's a battle for second. Kahne with a strong run on that outside off the corner. Now he's all over the bumper of Jimmie Johnson as Johnson leads lap 1. Now he jumps to the outside. Hendrick Motorsports teammates fighting side by side down the backstretch. Kasey Kahne with the advantage. And at turn number 3, Kasey Kahne using that high lane to take the lead. Kurt Busch on that outside as well, looking to follow. Kurt's got to run, and he's got to take it to the inside. Now Kurt Busch battles Kasey Kahne for the lead. On the inside lane, Kurt Busch and the Stewart-Haas 41. We got a wreck in turn 1. It's Denny Hamlin, Dale Jr., and Ryan Newman. Cautions out on lap number 3. We saw Denny Hamlin was turned sideways. Newman piles in, and Dale Jr. does as well. We see Denny Hamlin here. He just gets loose on the bottom. Comes up into Newman, nowhere to go. Dale Jr. gets collected as well as they slide down to the bottom of the racetrack. We'll take a look at it one more time before the restart. Is at full speed. And it just loses it on the bottom. Nowhere to go for the 31 or the 88. Denny Hamlin is in that playoff bubble picture. This is not going to be a good result for him. As the field is ready to go back to green, Kurt Busch takes him into turn 1. Kasey Kahne still working that outside lane as Larson and Johnson battle there for second. Look at this, 3 wide back here with Harvick, Clint Bowyer, and Tony Stewart on the outside. Tony Stewart moves into the top 5 with that outside move, but it's his teammate Kurt Busch who leads lap number 4. Kyle Larson has since moved into second. Here's Tony Stewart into Johnson. Johnson saves it. Wow, what a save by Johnson, but now he's 4 wide with Kyle Busch and Kevin Harvick there as well. Busch making moves as there's a battle for the lead up front. Kyle Larson on the outside of Kurt Busch, the 41 versus the 42 up front. Kyle Larson using that high lane that we know he loves. Coming off of turn 2 with a run. Kyle Larson, Kurt Busch side by side down the back straightaway. Kyle Larson trying to get the advantage on the outside. Oh, we got a wreck on the backstretch. Oh, a big hit for Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Multiple cars involved. Cautions out on lap 6. Big hits for the 10 and the 43. Oh, they're going to red flag this one. Field is stopped in turn 1. Man, there were some big hits there. Let's take a look at what happened. Watch Carl Edwards on the outside of Almirola. Looks like he gets into him off the corner. Almirola big hit in the wall. And Ricky Stenhouse Jr. up on top of Danica Patrick's car as they pile into that inside wall. Sam Horner's Jr. in it as well. We're going to slow it down even more here. So we see Edwards off the corner. Just comes down into the 43. They stack up behind as well. Chase Elliott's in this. Michael McDowell involved as well. And man, that was a big hit for the 17 and the 43 as well. And here it is once more at full speed. Yeah, big wreck on lap 6 here at Dover. And Matt DiBenedetto came down pit road. He was involved as well, but a lot of cars out. Just over halfway in this one. But we're back green. Kyle Larson takes them to turn 1. Look at Tony Stewart making more aggressive moves to the inside of Casey Kane. And now the 3 wide for the lead. Martin Truex Jr. into the picture now. He's on the outside of Kurt Busch. And going for the lead off of turn 4. It's the 78 to the front. The 41 try to fight back. But here comes Larson on the outside. Larson trying to get back to the lead as he sails around the outside of Kurt Busch and looking for more. Here he goes to the inside. What a run down the back straightaway for the 42. Now into turn 3, Kyle Larson fights low as Martin Truex Jr. pinches him down off the corner. Larson with the advantage. He'll lead lap 8. 2 to go as the 78 tries to surge back to the front on the outside of Kyle Larson. And we got one around on the front straightaway. It's Brad Keselowski. Cautions out late here at Dover. And it's for the 2 car. Oh, this is going to set up an interesting finish. This will be a 1-lap dash when they get this going. But let's see what happened to Keselowski first. It's on the outside of Trevor Bayne. Another incident of cars just getting loose here at Dover. Spins it around. Only car involved as Allgaier and McMurray made evasive action to get around the 2 car. Unless overtime says otherwise, this will be a 1-lap dash to the checkered flag. Let's see what happens on the restart. Martin Truex Jr., Kyle Larson, Tony Stewart into the middle. He's into Larson. Larson saves it, but he's out of this one. He's not going to be able to fight for the win as they're side by side down the back straightaway. Tony Stewart and Martin Truex Jr. into 3 and 4 for the final time. Truex down low. Stewart trying to pinch him. And they come off a 4. Tony Stewart with the advantage. And the push from his teammate. And Tony Stewart is going to win at the Monster Mile. And it all started on that restart for Tony Stewart. He made the aggressive move to the middle of Martin Truex Jr. And Kyle Larson moved Kyle Larson out of the way. Oh, heartbreaker for the 42 here at Dover. And then off of turn 4 with the help from his teammate Kurt Busch. Busch gets to the bumper of the boss man Tony Stewart and pushes him to victory lane here at Dover. A 1-2 finish for Stewart-Haas Racing, and Smoke himself is going to burn it down in front of the fans. Tony Stewart is your winner at Dover. Race results from Dover 1-2 for Stewart-Haas Racing. Tony Stewart first, Kurt Busch second. Martin Truex Jr. ends up third. Kyle Busch, strong run today, fourth. Pole sitter Jimmie Johnson, fifth. David Ragan, Paul Menard, strong top tens for them, 9th and 10th respectively. Kyle Larson ends up 13th after getting taken out by Tony Stewart on that restart. Carl Edwards, 22nd. He just did not have a good race today. Didn't qualify well, did not finish well either. And he caused the big one as well, which most of these drivers in red were involved in. And Denny Hamlin and Ryan Newman, they're both right there as far as the playoff bubble goes. Let's take a look at it. Yeah, Denny Hamlin minus 29 there. Ryan Newman is above, plus 17. But with Tony Stewart's win, that is half the playoff field locked up already. Joey Logano, Kurt Busch, very comfortable gap for them. And it gets closer and closer. Austin Dillon quietly having a good season so far. He's in the top 15 in points. And next up on the schedule, after today's race, it's Pocono, the Tricky Triangle. That'll be race number 10 on the season. But that's it from Dover Motor Speedway. Thank you all for stopping by, and I'll see you next time. Ryan Newman takes the green flag here at Pocono as they fan out down the wide front straightaway. 3 wide heading into turn 1 as Ryan Newman is clear for the lead. Kyle Busch, Dale Earnhardt Jr. side-by-side battle for second place through turn 2. Kyle Busch with the advantage. He's got the run, and he's clear into turn 3 over Dale Earnhardt Jr. as Ryan Newman leads lap 1 from the pole. Next battle on the track, that's for 4th place, Brad Keselowski over Martin Truex Jr. Keselowski making it work on the outside in turn 1. What a move, and he's going for more. He's got the 88. Brad Keselowski with a pass for 3rd on Dale Earnhardt Jr. Ryan Newman continues to lead with Kyle Busch following closely behind. Here's Kasey Kahne, battle for 5th over Martin Truex Jr. Kahne will take that spot heading into turn 1. Now Kevin Harvick's got a run on Martin Truex. Down the back stretch, Gordon getting him as well. Truex falling back quickly as Harvick now goes after Kasey Kahne on the outside lane. Kevin Harvick making it work, and here's the battle for the lead. Kyle Busch to the inside of Ryan Newman down the front stretch. Side by side through turn 1 as Kyle Busch has the advantage on the exit. New leader number 18, it's Kyle Busch as Newman slipping back to 3rd. Brad Keselowski in the 2 car to his inside. Keselowski fights Newman for 2nd as Kyle Busch will lead his first lap of the day. Oh, and a big incident. Danica Patrick sliding on the side as the car comes to rest on all 4. Cautions out, lap number 5, first caution of the day. And how in the world did that happen? We'll take a look at the replay. Looks like Danica Patrick came down on Bobby Labonte and slides up into the outside wall, slides through turn 1 on the right side of the car, and then comes to rest on the back stretch, back on all 4 wheels here. But not clear. Danica Patrick 36th, Bobby Labonte 37th. Their races will end early here at the halfway point at Pocono. So the track is all cleaned up. The 10 and the 32 have been taken to the garage area. That means we're ready for a restart here. Kyle Busch, Brad Keselowski. 1st and 2nd, they've had quite the history. Let's see what happens here. Through turn 1, Busch runs Keselowski up the track. And a chain reaction, a big wreck behind Brad Keselowski. Cautions out on the restart, and it was Kyle Busch who sent Keselowski into the outside wall, runs him up the track. Harvick behind, nowhere to go, down into Kasey Kahne. Dale Jr. gets caught up in it. Jeff Gordon's in the inside wall. Denny Hamlin spinning, and Logano in it as well. So a big wreck that all starts with Kyle Busch and Brad Keselowski. Their feud continues here at Pocono, and this time they're battling for the lead as we slow it down and take a closer look at it. But Busch just runs Keselowski out of room into the outside wall, nowhere to go and nowhere for the 4, and all these guys back here. So many good cars taken out in this wreck. Kevin Harvick, Kasey Kahne, they were making moves. All these guys were inside the top 10. And now they're all going to leave Pocono with a DNF. And remember, we have that on board with Brad Keselowski. Let's take a look at Keselowski's vantage point, shoved into the wall. And there's the wreck behind him. No room. Busch intentionally puts him in the wall, which could leave him with a bit of damage here. We'll see if they take a trip to pit road. But here it is one more time. This is just all they do to each other all season long. And look what it does. Collects innocent bystanders. None of these guys had anything to do with that mess. And here they are in the garage. But it's time for a restart. Keselowski, the team left him out on the racetrack, and he did not get a good restart. That damaged car seems to be falling back. He's in the middle 3 wide as Kyle Busch tries to fend off Ryan Newman. Newman trying to get back to this lead, heading into turn number 2. The 18 car with the run, and he will take that lead back from Ryan Newman. Coming to 3 laps to go. Kyle Busch outside the playoffs right now. A win will lock him in. This is what the 18 team needs, as Brad Keselowski seems to have gathered it up from that bad restart. He's going for 3rd on Kurt Busch. Is Keselowski not done yet? Here he comes through turn 2, trying to win that battle for 3rd on Kurt Busch, and it looks like he does. Through turn 3, Busch leading, 2 to go. Can Keselowski get back to him? Oh, what a story that would be. What would Brad do to Kyle Busch if he can catch him? He's got to get through Ryan Newman first. Here he goes with a big run down the backstretch. And into turn 2, Brad Keselowski on the inside of the 31 of Newman. Into turn 3, he's clear. Only 1 car left and only 1 lap to go. Kyle Busch leading at the white flag, and Keselowski's closing in. He's practically there through turn 1. What does Kyle Busch do? How does he defend this lead? He's trying to break the draft. Down the back straightaway, but Keselowski's closing in through turn 2. 1 more corner to go. What does Brad do? Entering turn 3, he turns him. He turns the 18. Kyle Busch into the wall, and Brad Keselowski will win this race. Brad Keselowski wins at Pocono, and here's how he did it. He got his revenge on Kyle Busch, takes him out, puts him into the turn 3 wall, and takes the win for himself. Oh man, and here's that on board with Brad Keselowski, sends it in there, takes out Kyle Busch. What a battle, what a fight back by Brad Keselowski to get to this position, to get to Kyle Busch, and take him out with 1 corner to go. Brad Keselowski has got to burn it down here at Pocono. Congratulations, Brad Keselowski. He fights back to take the win. Ryan Newman, solid day. Top 5 all day long for Newman. He's 2nd. Kurt Busch gets 3rd. Matt Kenseth 4th. Martin Truex Jr. 5th. Actually, Kurt Busch and Martin Truex Jr. both have a top 5 streak going here. So good runs for them. Here we see 13th through 24th. Jimmie Johnson 13th. Not really a factor today. He's usually up there, but today he was quietly back towards the 15th place spot. See Michael McDowell top 20. Trevor Bayne gets 19th. And here's all your DNFs in red. Kevin Harvick, he's had a few DNFs this season. Casey Kane, he's going to be on that bubble for the playoffs. So is Denny Hamlin. He's DNF in 34th. And here are those point standings. 9 cars locked in as Keselowski secures a playoff spot today. And there's Casey Kane +4. Denny Hamlin, he's falling way back. He's not even on the board here. Greg Biffle, he had a top 10 today. He's -15. Jamie McMurray -17. A lot of these guys with comfortable 30, 40 points. But will that be enough? Only 5 races remain before the playoffs begin, including Sonoma up next and Daytona after that. But that's it from Pocono. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you next time. Green flag is in the air. AJ Allmendinger leads them through turns 1 and 2. As the field flies by, Allmendinger already out front in front of Bowyer and Hamlin as they battle for second behind him. As the field flies through turn 7A here, Joey Logano's locked it up. He's already around. No caution, he gets it back going. and will stay green as Allmendinger comes to turn 11 to lead lap number 1. Battle for second now between Clint Bowyer and Denny Hamlin. Bowyer with the preferred line, the inside on the right here at Sonoma. As they head into turn 7A here, Bowyer's got it. Now Truex on the inside of Denny Hamlin to battle him through the S's. They fight back and forth. I think Truex is going to have the advantage off of turn 11. Or Denny Hamlin will keep up. What a power move by the 11 on the outside. He's still side by side with Martin Truex Jr. Coming into turn 4 and heading down the backstretch, Denny Hamlin still side by side with the 78. Now he's finally clears. We have a battle for the lead. AJ Allmendinger pressured by Clint Bowyer. Bowyer's on the inside. The preferred line in turn 11. He's going to lead that lap. But Allmendinger showing his road course muscle as he tries to keep ahead of Clint Bowyer. Through turn 4A here, side by side. Oh, and a couple off. Here, that's turn 2. Ryan Newman and Kyle Larson. First caution of the day. Lap 4. Let's see what happened. Matt DiBenedetto locking it up. Getting into turn 2. Newman right in front of him. He takes him out. Larson, an innocent bystander as well. But yeah, it looks like just what happened to Joey Logano. DiBenedetto locking it up and taking out the 31 and the 42. While they clean up this mess, we'll take a look back at the Logano incident. See where he locked it up coming into 7A here. Oh, no, maybe he had help there. Jeff Gordon getting into the back of Logano as Kurt Busch avoids the spinning Logano. So that did not bring out the caution. But this did with DiBenedetto, Newman, and Larson. But we're back green. AJ Allmendinger and Clint Bowyer still fighting it out as Allmendinger clears Bowyer for the lead. And Harvick spinning off of turn 2. Kevin Harvick into the dirt. He gets back on the track. No caution there as Truex battles Bowyer for second. Truex with that inside line. He's got to take it. Bowyer trying to fight back. But the 78 looks stronger right now. Can he put the fight to Allmendinger as they head towards the backstretch? There's the 78. He's looking to the inside. Martin Truex Jr. gets into Allmendinger. I think there was contact. More contact as they're going off into the dirt through the S's. Side by side into turn 11. Truex to the front. Martin Truex Jr. leading at Sonoma as Allmendinger gets pressure from Clint Bowyer. But how about that battle for fourth between Jeff Gordon and Tony Stewart? Down the backstretch, 3 wide. Kurt Busch making a huge move into 7A. And he's going to take the 2-for-1 from Gordon and Tony Stewart. What a move by the 41. That puts him into fourth as Truex continues to lead. Now he's looking for Bowyer into turn 2 as we have a caution on the track. It's Chase Elliott. He's lodged up on the tire barrier. That is in the S's turn 10. And it looks like Almirola takes him out as he slides backwards and then up on top of the tire barrier there. We'll take another look at it. But it seems like it was the 43 of Eric Almirola who made contact. Well, watch the Squidward car. Casey Mears, maybe he might have had a little bit of contact with the 43. Kind of hooked him into Chase Elliott. But as they clean up this mess, we'll take a look back at that Kevin Harvick incident. This was on the restart, exiting turn 2. And there's Harvick in the red car. And he may have had some help from the 19 behind him. Carl Edwards gets in to the 4 car. But he was able to keep it going. And then after that, all this contact between Martin Truex Jr. and AJ Allmendinger. Truex, I think, got into the corner a little too much. And Allmendinger was not happy with that. Runs him wide. Truex is sideways. Now the 47 sideways. What a battle that was. Let's see if they keep that same level of aggression on the restart. 2 to go for Martin Truex Jr. here at Sonoma. AJ Allmendinger gets into Martin Truex Jr. Around he goes. He's back on the track, but he's out of this one. He doesn't get to fight for the win, as now Kurt Busch challenging AJ Allmendinger for the lead. Heading into turn 11 and coming to the white flag, and it's Kurt Busch. Clear for the lead. White flag in the air. Gordon now battling for second. Can he catch the 41? Kurt Busch and Jeff Gordon have taken control of this race. Can Jeff Gordon make a move on Kurt Busch, or will Busch defend his lead through the S's for the final time? Gordon is there. Can he make a move into turn 11? It's not going to be enough. Kurt Busch is going to win at Sonoma. What a battle. And it all started with Allmendinger getting into Truex right here into turn 3. Truex gets taken out, and Kurt Busch was able to take advantage and win at Sonoma as he burns it down here in wine country. Congratulations to Kurt Busch. He takes the win. Jeff Gordon comes home second. Clint Bowyer for third. He beats Allmendinger, who takes fourth. And Tony Stewart ends up fifth. Sam Hornish Jr., good run for him. He's sixth. Denny Hamlin seventh. Kyle Busch eighth. Michael McDowell ninth. And Joey Logano rebounds to 10th after getting spun on lap 1. We see Martin Truex Jr. falling outside the top 10 here after leading late with a contact from AJ Allmendinger. So tough ending for Martin Truex Jr.'s day, but he should have good points over the cut line. He's been up there, finishing well. And there's the DNFs. Chase Elliott, Kyle Larson, and Ryan Newman will not finish the race today. Well, let's take a look at those point standings. There's Truex. He's plus 50, as Kurt Busch becomes our 10th different winner this season. There we see Ryan Newman only plus 8. That DNF did not do him any favors today. Almirola and Jamie McMurray are in striking distance, and Greg Biffle not too far off there either. But let's take a look at the regular season standings. The regular season champion will receive 10 extra playoff points when the playoffs start. That is a big deal for these guys, and there it is. Kurt Busch, with the win today, will take the points lead in the regular season. Jeff Gordon only 7 back. Jimmie Johnson 17, and then Matt Kenseth 21 back. Only 4 races remain until the playoffs start, and up next of those 4 is Daytona. That should be a chaotic, wild, but fun race. But that's it from Sonoma. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you next time. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. takes us to the green, and we're racing here at Daytona. How early will we see a third lane form? It looks like Jeff Gordon's already at the top searching for a third lane as Joey Logano's on the bottom. Stenhouse sees him. He's going to come down and block the 22. Greg Biffle to the middle. And there it is. 3 wide already on lap 1. Coming off of turn 4, they're 3 wide for the lead. And it looks like the 17 of Stenhouse will lead that lap over Kurt Busch. Brad Keselowski in the middle. Looks loose in front of the 16 of Greg Biffle. But he keeps it straight as the field flies through turns 1 and 2 and down the back stretch. Keselowski into Stenhouse. They both keep it straight. They're going to keep going, no caution. But already the 2 and the 17 heading to the back of the field. As Keselowski got loose, now Kurt Busch will take the lead. Here comes Gordon and the 22 of Logano. They split him in the middle. Now Kurt Busch falls to third. Second in line in the middle as Jeff Gordon will claim the lead. Here comes Logano. He sees a run to the top. Now to the middle. Oh my goodness, they're being so aggressive here. Just on lap 3. What a move by Logano. Now they're 3 wide for the lead again. Gordon at the top. Logano trying to block the 88. Here comes Dale Jr. to the outside. Logano to block the middle in front of Kane. Now he's clear of the 88. Let's see if he can control these lanes up front. Hamlin with a run. He blocks it. Now he's up to the top in front of Dale Jr. Denny Hamlin was loose in front of Casey Kane there. He gathers it up as Logano leads the top lane. Look at Chase Elliott and Denny Hamlin. Both save it. I thought they were going to wreck for sure. Oh man, what a save by these guys. Denny Hamlin's car is a handful right now here at the front of the pack. Casey Kane turns Denny Hamlin. The whole field's caught up in it. They're wrecking big time in turn 3. Allmendinger flipping. It's the big one on lap 5. Caution's out for the first time today. And it starts with Casey Kane and Denny Hamlin. Casey Kane all over the back bumper. Hamlin was so loose before this. Collects the whole field. Allmendinger flipping violently in turns 1 and 2 as his car falls into the pile. We'll take another look at it. We'll really slow it down here as they continue to clean up this gigantic mess. But watch Kasey Kahne. He knows Denny Hamlin was loose the corner before. Or maybe it starts with Tony Stewart. Stewart was all over the back bumper of the 5. It's an accordion effect. It turns the 11 into the 20 of Kenseth. Kenseth down into Allmendinger, who gets flipped upside down. There's Greg Biffle running into Kasey Kahne. Ryan Newman's in it. He's a bubble driver. Jamie McMurray's in it as well. Big wreck with playoff implications for several drivers. We'll look at it one more time at full speed here. But what carnage here at Daytona. 16 cars were involved in this wreck. That's the total. They were all checked and released from the care center. That might be the only good news for them, as none of them will be continuing in this race. The green flag is back in the air. Joey Logano looks to try and control this field again. He's got the 88 of Dale Jr. to his outside. And look at that. They are not afraid to go 3 wide still, even after the big one. Here comes Dale Jr. up to block that third lane. Down to the middle, Jeff Gordon. No, he fakes Joey Logano. Logano loose in the middle. But he's got to gather it up as they're 3 wide for the lead again. Jeff Gordon on the inside is going to lead lap 6 with 4 laps to go. What can he do to stay up front? Or can Joey Logano come back up through the middle? Here he comes with a run with David Gilliland in the 38. Gordon tried to block. So loose was the 24. I thought he was going to go around, but he saves it as well. Joey Logano back to the front on the inside with Jimmie Johnson. Coming to 3 laps to go for the 22, and they're wrecking again. Kurt Busch up in the air, back onto the ground, and the caution's out again. Another big wreck in this race, and it's on lap number 8. Kurt Busch was running in the middle of the field. Most of these guys were. We'll take a look at the replay as they clean up this mess. Well, there's Kurt Busch on the outside. Look at Casey Mears in the middle. He's in the blue 13. I think he gets turned by the 32, Bobby Labonte behind him. Look at Ty Dillon and Michael McDowell avoid this carnage going down pit road, as Kurt Busch got a lot of airtime in that wreck. When these cars get turned around like that, the air just wants to pick them up like an airplane. But thank goodness the roof flaps set that car back on the ground. Unlike Allmendinger's crash, his was more of a weight shift when Kenseth hit him. Nothing the roof flaps could do to keep that car from going over, but Kurt Busch lands back on the ground. And we're going to have a record here for wrecked cars in this series. 6 cars involved in this one. There are now more wrecked cars out of this race than there are cars left in. Only 15 cars will be on the restart here. But it's Joey Logano still in control of this field. Here they come, green flag. 2 laps to go, and it's Joey Logano with a big push from Jeff Gordon. Gordon, can he clear the 48 and maybe jump to the outside of Joey Logano? Here he goes with a run. No, he's into the wall. Jeff Gordon, big hit into the outside wall, and the caution's out again. Jimmie Johnson spins in this one. He's going to drive away, but a heavy hit for Jeff Gordon as he tried to make a move to the outside of Joey Logano. Here's the replay. Logano just keeps coming up, trying to block the run. The 24 was already there. But Logano essentially takes him out, putting him into the outside wall. A heavy hit for the Jeff Gordon machine. Here it is again. Gordon has a big run and jumps to the outside, but the 22 just comes up and gets the 24 turned into that outside wall. Great job by the rest of the field to avoid the spinning Jeff Gordon. Gordon will be the only car to retire from this wreck. Jimmie Johnson has made his way to pit road, but now we've got to look at the overtime rules in the YCAST Cup Series. No race will ever end under caution. If the caution flag waves, 1 lap will be added to the race, and the leader does not have lane choice for the restarts. They must start on the inside lane, and this is only if we get a caution on this restart. We are technically not in overtime yet. It is the white flag here, lap 10 of 10, and it's Joey Logano with David Gilliland to his outside. Dale Jr. giving David Gilliland a big push through 1 and 2. Can the 38 jump into the playoffs with this one? We got one around in the back. The caution will not come out. Here comes Logano to the inside of David Gilliland. Joey Logano to the front. Gilliland to the outside to get a run. Will it be enough? Here they come to the checkered flag. It will not be enough for Gilliland. Joey Logano will win at Daytona. What a thrilling finish to this wild race. It's the 22 who made an impressive move to get the lead back on Gilliland. He fakes to the outside and jumps to the inside of the 38. And it was a drag race from there to the checkered flag. Joey Logano will win. It was Chase Elliott who wrecked on the backstretch. Caution didn't come out for him. And that means Joey Logano will burn it down here at Daytona. What a finish for Joey Logano. He takes the win. David Gilliland ends up second. Kevin Harvick third. Matt DiBenedetto fourth. Dale Earnhardt Jr. gets fifth. Austin Dillon, a cutoff driver, gets sixth. Good run for him. Kyle Busch seventh. He needed that run as well. Danica Patrick in eighth. She needed a good run. Finally gets a top 10. And look at that. Only 13 cars will end up finishing this race. So many cars wrecked out. Allmendinger 22nd. He flipped in this race. Eric Almirola gets 16th. Even though he wrecked, that's not a bad finish for where he is in the points. Here's the rest of the field. It was a tough day for the Roush cars. None of them will finish the race, and none of them will place in the top 30 with that. But here's the point standings now after Daytona. Joey Logano, he was above the cut line, and he finally locks it down. Almirola just +7 over Ryan Newman. Jamie McMurray and Kyle Busch both 16 out. Not much time left for these guys, but 16 points is doable. Greg Biffle -29, a bit much. And here's the regular season standings. That's for the extra 10 playoff points for the regular season champion. Right now, Kurt Busch has a 3-point lead over Jeff Gordon. Neither of those guys finished the race. Joey Logano jumps into the picture, though, with his win. He's only -21 points for the regular season championship. Only 3 races remain before the playoffs, and the next track on the schedule, Watkins Glen. It'll be our second and final road course of the season. But that's it from Daytona. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you next time. Green flag is in the air, and we're racing at the Glen. Sam Hornish Jr. looks to take an early lead over AJ Allmendinger, who battles Kevin Harvick for that second spot. And here they come through the bus stop. Looks like they can make it work. Too wide as Kevin Harvick looks to take the advantage over AJ Allmendinger. A little loose there through turn 10, but it's 3-time IndyCar champion Sam Hornish Jr. who leads lap 1 over Kevin Harvick, who's closing in on the back bumper of the 9. Here he looks to the inside, the preferred lane coming into the carousel. Look at the Kevin Harvick machine. The number 4 takes the lead down the backstretch and into turn 10. Harvick is going to lead lap number 2. But look at the 47, AJ Allmendinger. We know he's good on these road courses as the caution is out. It's Matt Kenseth. He's off in the sand trap off of turn 10. Looks like he's stuck there, trying to get it out, but nope. That 20 car is stuck. He's going to need a tow out of the sand trap. He should be good to continue. No damage really to Kenseth's car. He gets it refired, but he'll have to restart in the back. Let's take a look at what happened to the 20. We see the 10 of Danica Patrick lock up the brakes getting into turn 10. It's a tight corner off of the high-speed back straightaway and just gets in too deep on the inside. Kenseth gave plenty of room to the 10, but when you lock up the tires, you just slide, and unfortunately, Kenseth gets tagged. But we're back green. Kevin Harvick leads the field into turn 1 and up through the S's. But he's being pestered by the 47, AJ Allmendinger. What can he do on the outside coming into the carousel? He's trying to make it work on that higher line through the carousel. AJ Allmendinger to the front. He gets around Kevin Harvick. Allmendinger will lead lap 4 as we got 3 wide. Tony Stewart, a 2-for-1 on Harvick and Sam Hornish Jr. He goes from 4th to 2nd with that move as he battles his teammate Kevin Harvick into the bus stop. He should have the preferred lane on the exit as Joey Logano is off in the bus stop. He gathers it back up, lost a couple of spots there, but he's back on track as A.J. Allmendinger continues to lead. We'll see if that Tony Stewart machine can catch the 47. There's a battle for 4th place. Denny Hamlin's got a fast car late in this race as he battles against Sam Hornish Jr. through the S's and up down the back straightaway into the bus stop. Denny Hamlin should have the lane. We saw Allmendinger work that outside, but Sam Hornish Jr. gets shoved wide. He'll lose a spot, maybe another one to Jeff Gordon as Denny Hamlin takes 4th. There's Tony Stewart closing on the 47. Look at Hamlin. Man, what a fast car he has in this race. Up to 3rd. Can he challenge the leader, A.J. Allmendinger, as Kurt Busch goes around in the S's? The 41 spins, the caution's out. Kurt Busch goes around in that tight, high-speed corner of the track, the S's. They had to throw the caution here. Let's take a look at what happened. He comes down in front of Joey Logano. Logano's already got the nose on the inside. I don't think Kurt Busch was aware of it. He gets tagged. Remember, he's in a tight battle for the regular season championship with Jeff Gordon, who was just in front of him. This is going to cost Kurt Busch a lot of time, especially if he comes down pit road for a fresh set of tires after that spin. I would think he would. And yes, he did during this caution. And while we have the caution, we'll take a look back at that Joey Logano incident. We'll see how he got shoved off the track. There he is in the bottom right, the orange car. And it looks like a little bit of help from the Jeff Gordon machine. We've seen these two get together before. Think back to Sonoma. Gordon helped Logano through one of the corners there. And then just at Daytona, Joey Logano made a huge block that sent Gordon up into the wall. But we're back green. A.J. Allmendinger, Tony Stewart, and Denny Hamlin. Hamlin gets turned in turn 1. Harvick as well. Somehow they save it. No caution, but they got to figure this mess out through the S's. I cannot believe nobody wrecked, but Hamlin and Harvick get knocked out of it. Sam Hornish Jr. up to 3rd as they've got a battle for the lead. Allmendinger and Tony Stewart. And a turn 10. Tony Stewart looking with the advantage to lead lap number 8. 2 to go. A.J. Allmendinger could win and lock his name into the playoffs. Tony Stewart looking for his 2nd win of the season. Let's see who's got it down the backstretch and into the bus stop. Allmendinger has cleared Tony Stewart. Stewart back to the inside. He moves him up the track and through the carousel. Tony Stewart takes the lead back from A.J. Allmendinger. Allmendinger retaliates and sends Stewart wide. Stewart gathers it up, and the white flag is in the air for A.J. Allmendinger. 1 to go through the S's. Can Stewart get back to the 47? What a great run through the S's for Tony Stewart. Into the bus stop. He sends A.J. Allmendinger wide. Allmendinger is off. His chances are over. It's Tony Stewart versus Sam Hornish Jr. now. Coming in turn 10 and 11. Hornish to the outside. Who's it going to be? To the line. Tony Stewart is going to win at Watkins Glen. What a thrilling last lap. Back and forth between Allmendinger and Stewart, but it's Stewart who gets the final blow on Allmendinger as he sends him wide through the inner loop. Tony Stewart claims his 2nd win of the season, and he burns it down here at the Glen. Tony Stewart claims the victory in dramatic fashion. Sam Hornish Jr. winds up 2nd. Kyle Busch, a much-needed 3rd place. Good for the points. Allmendinger ends up 4th. And Joey Logano, involved in a couple incidents today, he rounds off that top 5. Jamie McMurray 6th there. He's a bubble driver as well. Good run for him. Michael McDowell shows up at a road course again. He's 13th. Matt Benedetto, a solid run for him. Ryan Newman, another bubble driver, 18th. Don't know if that's going to cut it. And Austin Dillon as well, close to that line. We'll see what 24th does for him. Eric Almirola ends up 32nd. That's going to knock him below the cut line. And after a wreckfest at Daytona, all 37 cars will finish the race here at Watkins Glen. And here it is. The playoff standings. Kyle Busch has jumped in just 3 points ahead of Jamie McMurray. Newman out by 6. Almirola out by 13. Austin Dillon in 22 above. And Casey Kane 18 above. The points are just so close right now, it's hard to predict who's gonna make it and who gets left behind. Here's the regular season standings. Jeff Gordon takes the points lead from Kurt Busch after Busch got spun. He's 9 back. Joey Logano at top 5 in this race. He is in the hunt as well for those 10 extra playoff points. But that's it from Watkins Glen International. Up next on the schedule is Bristol and then Darlington, and that's it. Those are the 2 races left before the playoffs begin. So thank you all for showing up to the Glen. I will see you next time at Bristol. We're ready to go racing as Jeff Gordon takes us to the green here at Bristol Motor Speedway. Through turns 1 and 2, he's got the 31 of Ryan Newman on his outside. Newman below the cut line. He needs a good run today. And what better way to start it than by taking the lead as we got a crash off of turn 2 already. Here on lap 1. Caution's out. Jamie McMurray, playoff contender, was involved. You saw him drive away. Others involved, Matt DiBenedetto, Sam Hornish Jr. looks like he got into him. David Reagan gets caught up in it. And so does Paul Menard in the 27. Man, already wreck on lap 1. Well, watch the 9 car. It looks like he just taps the 83. They're all stacked up from the initial start of the race. But Jamie McMurray, he will continue, but he'll have to restart in the back. As we're back green already, Jeff Gordon gets 3 wide with Carl Edwards on his inside and Ryan Newman on the outside for the lead. Ryan Newman and Carl Edwards split the pole sitter Jeff Gordon as he slips back. Ryan Newman looks to capitalize and take the lead, but he's got Carl Edwards fighting for that top spot on the inside. Who's going to prevail coming into turn 1? Carl Edwards on that low line. He looks good wrapping the bottom. He's got the nose in front of Ryan Newman. And another car around. It's Sam Hornish Jr. back up into traffic. Greg Biffle, Danica Patrick involved. Second caution in 3 laps. Let's take a look. He's got Denny Hamlin, who gets to the left rear and turns him entering turn 1. AJ Allmendinger barely avoids. May have been contact with the 47, but Greg Biffle and Danica Patrick will not avoid the spinning Sam Hornish Jr. Let's look at it again. Denny Hamlin just tags the left rear. Looks like kind of intended to wreck the 9 car. But around he goes, and we've already got 6 cars out in 3 laps. Not a good start for these guys. But we're back green, and it's Carl Edwards leading into turn 1. And Jeff Gordon way out of shape. Oh my goodness, he caught that car, but now he's 3 wide and falling back. I thought he was going to wreck there in turn 1. He gathers it up as Newman and Edwards continue to fight for this lead. The 19 still on the inside. Joey Logano looking at that top line, and he gets into Newman. Newman into the wall. He's got a tire rub. Is the tire going to cut down? It looks like it has. He's into the wall. Ryan Newman, who was running so well below that cut line, he needed a good run, and it's going to end in the wall. Look at Joey Logano. He was to the outside of the 31, just had the nose on the outside, but the tire gets cut down after contact with the wall, and Ryan Newman is out of this race on lap number 5. So Joey Logano gets into Newman. As they clean this up, we'll take a look at Jeff Gordon, who made that big save in turn 1, and it's also Logano who's behind him. These two have had a bit of a rivalry here at the end of the regular season, so that may have been intentional from Logano. But for Newman, it may have just been incidental. But we're back green again, another restart, and Logano's going for it all. 3 wide for the lead. Kyle Busch is in the mix as well, as Carl Edwards slips backwards. He's in a 4th with Kasey Kahne on his outside. But it's the 18 of Kyle Busch and the 22 of Joey Logano side by side down the backstretch. Kyle Busch in the playoff picture. He's had a rough season so far this year. He's finally above the cut line. Can he put together a race win today? As Logano's going to lead this lap. Kasey Kahne in the fight as well. Logano clear of the 18 for the lead. Now the battle's on for second place. Kasey Kahne with a run on Kyle Busch. Can he get in front of the 18 as they battle down the backstretch? Yes, he does. Kasey Kahne to second and looking for more on the 22 of Logano. To the outside, no, to the inside. Kasey Kahne with 3 laps to go. It's the 5 car to the point. Can Logano rally back on that outside lane? And they've got the 18 lurking as well. Kyle Busch, he's hungry for a win in this series. And he's going 3 wide to the inside of Kasey Kahne. 3 wide for the lead again in turns 3 and 4. Side by side on the exit. Kyle Busch loose. Off of Kasey Kahne. Now he's blocking Jimmie Johnson. Kyle Busch cannot afford to wreck with where he is in the points right now. But it's Kasey Kahne and Joey Logano trying to pull away from Busch. And which one of these two is going to prevail? They've been battling it out since the restart. Joey Logano with the nose ahead of Kasey Kahne, coming to the white flag. Joey Logano has cleared Kasey Kahne. 1 to go. Now Kahne's looking to the outside of the 22. Neck and neck for the leaders once again as they head down the backstretch. No clear advantage for either one of these drivers. This is going to be a close finish coming to the line. Let's see who's got it. Kasey Kahne with a little bit of an advantage over Logano. They touch. Again, contact. And it's Kasey Kahne who wins at Bristol over Joey Logano. What a fantastic finish. Between the 5 and the 22, sideways was Logano as they slam doors to the checkered. And it's Kasey Kahne who gets it done for his first win of the season. Kasey Kahne burns it down for the fans at Bristol. What a finish. Kasey Kahne the winner. Joey Logano second. Kyle Busch fends off Keselowski and Johnson for third. Ricky Stenhouse Jr., a good run for him. He's sixth. Austin Dillon, he's in the playoff picture. He ends up 10th. Aric Almirola ends up 11th. We'll see what that does for him in the points. There's Jamie McMurray after the spin early. He rallies back to 15th. But I don't think that's going to be enough for him where he was in the points. It's Kyle Busch that he's chasing. So we'll see when the points show up. But there's Ryan Newman. He was running so well in this race until Joey Logano clipped him into the wall and cut that tire down. He's going to be maybe in a must-win situation heading to Darlington. But here it is, the playoff standings. Kasey Kahne locks it up. He's not the only one, though. Clint Bowyer and Martin Truex Jr. both have enough points. They cannot be eliminated. So that means only 2 spots are left for the playoffs, and it's Austin Dillon and Kyle Busch who have those spots right now. But anybody below the cut line can win at Darlington and rob one of those 2 drivers of a playoff spot. Here's the regular season standings with 1 race to go. Joey Logano closes in to Jeff Gordon's point lead. Just 7 back. Kurt Busch still in the mix as well. Jimmie Johnson, that's a bit much if all these guys run well at Darlington. But 10 extra playoff points for the driver who wins the regular season championship. That's it from Bristol Motor Speedway. Up next, as I've mentioned, it's Darlington. The Lady in Black will end the regular season and start us in the playoffs. But thank you all for showing up, and I will see you at Darlington. Green flag is in the air. Ryan Newman leads the field in a turn 1. And we'll be watching that cut line all race long as Ryan Newman holds a playoff spot as he takes the lead clear of Jimmie Johnson down the back stretch. Kyle Busch side by side with Kevin Harvick. He's going to need all the points he can get. With Ryan Newman leading, he's only 2 above the cut line as Newman leads lap number 1, and we have a car stopped on the backstretch. The caution's out early. It's Bobby Labonte in the 32 car. Well, let's take a look at what happened. And it seems like he had an engine failure on his 32 car. So that's going to knock him out of the race. While the safety crew cleans him up, we'll take a look at the points. Kyle Busch just +2 over Austin Dillon. Jamie McMurray, he's out by 18 points, and he's running 6th right now. So it's going to look like he's going to need to win this race. But the green flag is back in the air. Ryan Newman leads him in a turn 1, but Jimmie Johnson takes him on the outside. Ryan Newman slips back to 2nd, and that'll put him 31 points out of the playoffs with Jimmie Johnson in the lead. Ryan Newman trying to keep up with Jimmie Johnson on that inside line. But it's the 48 who clears the 31 and will lead lap number 3. Next battle on the track, it's Jamie McMurray versus Kevin Harvick. McMurray trying to jump into the playoff picture as he gets by Kevin Harvick for the 4th spot, but not so fast. The 4 car battles him back on that inside line. Down the backstretch, Jamie McMurray fighting on the outside of Kevin Harvick. Now he's back to that 4th spot. Can he clear the 4 car off of turn number 4? Yes, he does, as Martin Truex Jr. goes around off of turn 4, the 78 into the inside wall. Caution's out again for the 2nd time today, and it's a lone spin by Truex Jr., who is locked into the playoffs on points. Oh, he may have had some help from Brad Keselowski. But it is a pretty slick racetrack. They don't call it the track too tough to tame for nothing. He may have just lost it coming off of turn 4. We've seen this before when we were at Darlington earlier this season. Cars getting loose and crashing off of corners. But while we have a moment, we can see where Newman lies without leading the race. Austin Dillon and Kyle Busch are in, plus 16 over Jamie McMurray. And the rest of them, they're definitely going to need to win this race. The 2 cars out on lap number 5. We're back green. Jimmie Johnson leading. And a turn 1 with Ryan Newman on his outside. Can Newman get back to the front and lock his way into the playoffs? Off of turn 2, they're side by side for the lead. Cars around. Carl Edwards hard in the wall. 5 cars involved. On the backstretch, the caution's out right after the restart. And they're going to red flag this one. With the backstretch being clogged up, Carl Edwards took a hard hit into that inside wall. Let's take a look at it again. We see Matt Kenseth and Ricky Stenhouse Jr. off the corner. It looks like Stenhouse may have got loose. An abrupt left turn and hard impact for the 19 car of Carl Edwards. He's going to be out of this race along with his teammate Matt Kenseth, as well as Chase Elliott and Greg Biffle. They both needed to win to make the playoffs. But watch Austin Dillon back here. He gets around this wreck to keep his playoff hopes alive. Good job for that 3 cars. We're ready for the restart. And Jimmie Johnson, big time loose. Off the bumper of Kyle Busch. He slides it and falls back to 5th. Johnson's out of the hunt as Ryan Newman reclaims the lead and puts his name back into the playoffs. Kyle Busch and Jamie McMurray battling for 2nd. McMurray and Newman both need to win, and there can only be one winner. And Kyle Busch running 2nd. He's only plus 1 above Austin Dillon with 3 laps to go. Kyle Busch may have to take this lead away from Ryan Newman. As they come off of turn number 2, Kyle Busch closing in down the backstretch. Here's Austin Dillon grabbing a spot from Dale Jr. Now they're tied on the cut line. 0 points above for Kyle Busch. And a big run from Jamie McMurray. He pushes Kyle Busch to the outside. It's the 18. Ryan Newman trying to defend the lead from Kyle Busch. Only one of these guys can make it into the playoffs. And here's Austin Dillon grabbing another spot from Stenhouse. He's into the playoffs. Now Kyle Busch is out by 1 point and coming to the white flag. Here he comes to the outside of Ryan Newman. It's Kyle Busch. Big block on McMurray from Newman. Now everyone's sideways in a turn 1. Somehow they all save it, and Newman is back to the front. Kyle Busch, contact made with Ryan Newman off at turn 2. Busch back to the lead. It's going to be a close finish to make the playoffs between Newman, Busch, and Jamie McMurray. Off at turn 4, contact made again. McMurray slid to the wall, and it's going to be Ryan Newman who wins at Darlington and makes the playoffs over Kyle Busch and Jamie McMurray. What a finish between these 3 drivers. Look at the contact. Busch is into the wall. McMurray hard into the inside wall. And Ryan Newman will win at Darlington and make the playoffs. What a battle. What a fight as Ryan Newman burns it down for the fans here in South Carolina. Ryan Newman punches his ticket into the playoffs in dramatic fashion. Kyle Busch and Jamie McMurray fall short in 2nd and 3rd. Jimmie Johnson 4th, and Harvick rounds off that top 5. There's Austin Dillon. 12th place is good enough to make the playoffs for the 3 car. There's Denny Hamlin in 13th. He needed a lot more, just didn't have it today. We see Kyle Larson in 21st. Good recovery from that big wreck on lap number 6, which involved Carl Edwards and Matt Kenseth, who both are making the playoffs. But this is going to be bad for their momentum. Matt Kenseth's actually on 5 finishes outside the top 15 in a row. It has not been good for the 20 car. He's going to have to change his momentum entering the playoffs. But here you go, our 16 drivers to make the inaugural YCAST Cup Series playoffs. Jeff Gordon, who won the regular season championship, he gets those 10 extra playoff points. He will be the points leader, heading into the first race of the round of 16, which will take us to Dover Motor Speedway, the Monster Mile. Here it is, round of 16 tracks will be Dover and Charlotte. A couple of unique tracks, but that's it for the regular season. The playoffs are coming up. Thank you all for stopping by, and I will see you in Dover for the round of 16. Green flag is in the air. We're playoff racing. Here at Dover, as Matt Kenseth leads the field through turns 1 and 2. And Carl Edwards loose off the bumper of Joey Logano. He's going to lose a couple spots there. Carl Edwards falling back early as Kasey Kahne battles Matt Kenseth on the outside, the 5 car. But it's the 20 that will lead lap 1. Kasey Kahne strong on the outside, though. Will Kenseth put up a fight off the corner? Kahne's got help from Jeff Gordon behind him, giving him a push down the backstretch. It's Kasey Kahne to the front on lap 2. Jeff Gordon now trying to get around the 20 as well. A couple hundred cars stuck first and second. Here to begin lap 3. We got a car around on the front stretch. It's playoff contender David Ragan into the inside wall. Caution's out. He's going to be at a major deficit heading into Charlotte. Let's take a look. He just gets loose off of turn 4. David Ragan hard into that inside wall. This is going to put him in a critical spot going into Charlotte, where he won on fuel mileage earlier this season. But tough luck for David Ragan. He is our first car out, so he'll get last place points today. But we're ready for the restart. Kasey Kahne and Matt Kenseth really loose on that restart. He's 3 wide with Jimmie Johnson and Kevin Harvick. They're going to sort that out back there as we've got Joey Logano going around Kasey Kahne for second place. On the outside lane is where Kahne would prefer to be, but Logano's got him off the corner. Kahne trying to put up a fight, but Logano clears him heading into turn 1. Now Denny Hamlin to the inside. He's not in the playoffs. He can still go for the win and spoil the victory for these playoff guys as they head down the backstretch. Look at Joey Logano closing in on the 24 of Jeff Gordon. Gordon's going to lead lap number 5, but he's got the 22 all over his bumper. Here comes Logano looking to the inside. Gordon hanging tough on that outside lane, but the 22, contact there between Logano and Gordon heading into turn 3. Joey Logano to the inside. Can Gordon hang on? He's going to lead this lap. But Logano looks to have the faster car. And they're coming up on lap traffic now. We'll see what they do to get around some of these slower cars. Big time loose for Joey Logano off of turn number 2. So Gordon will take the advantage back. Now Logano looks to the outside of Jeff Gordon. Joey Logano, can he roll the top? Jeff Gordon still leading, but now they have to deal with lap traffic. They're going to split him in the middle. David Gilliland going back as Logano, big run off of the outside of turn 2. To the front, it's the 22 of Joey Logano. Jeff Gordon loose into turn 3. Now Logano's clear. Trying to get around these lap cars. Gordon looking. He's going to try and dime in the corner to get a run on Joey Logano. Big block from the 22. Logano holding on to the lead. And coming to the white flag. Gordon will have one more chance to get around Logano. And can Logano hold on as they navigate Dover one more time? Contact! Gordon to the right rear of Logano. Here they come down the backstretch. Big block from Logano. Now he's loose. Here comes Gordon to the inside. He's got a lap car in front of him. He's not going to make it. Joey Logano is going to win at Dover and lock into the round of 12. Joey Logano put up a fight and a big block on Jeff Gordon right there down the backstretch. Gordon tried to send him up the track, but then he had to deal with Sam Hornish Jr., who was a lap down. He got loose, and Joey Logano is going to win at Dover. Congratulations to Joey Logano. He's in to the round of 12. Congratulations to Joey Logano and Team Penske for winning at Dover. Jeff Gordon comes home second. You see all the playoff guys in yellow. Kasey Kahne, Matt Kenseth, good runs for them. Ryan Newman up there in 8th. Dale Jr. grabs the top 10, and Carl Edwards slipped back to 12th. Here's the rest of your playoff guys. Some of these drivers who ran well last time we were at Dover did not today. Kurt Busch, who got second, he ends up 16th. And Tony Stewart, who won that race, ends up 20th. And I'm not going to let Cole Witt go unnoticed in 19th place. Great run for him and that team. And there we see David Ragan. He's our last playoff guy. He's going to get the only DNF in this race. Only 1 point is awarded to 37th place. So that's going to put him at a deficit. And we see it now. Everyone looks pretty close except for David Ragan, who's minus 20. And Jeff Gordon, 26 points above. That's a good, healthy cushion. And of course, Logano, the only driver locked in to the round of 12 after his win today. But it's going to be pretty tight battle when we head to Charlotte Motor Speedway. That's our elimination race of the round of 16. There we will drop it down to 12 drivers. But thank you all for showing up at Dover, and I will see you next time in Charlotte. Carl Edwards will lead the field to green in the first elimination race of the playoffs. And in the bottom left, we will be watching the points all race long as Clint Bowyer tries to go for the lead on Carl Edwards in a turn 3. Lap number 1, battle for the lead. Clint Bowyer is going to lead this first lap over pole sitter Carl Edwards, but Edwards fights back on the outside lane. Couple Toyotas battling it out. Bowyer's loose and Kurt Busch hard into the wall. Cautions out early, and Kurt Busch's championship run is going to be over. He's dropping quickly in the points. Look, as Clint Bowyer got loose, reaction from Kurt Busch. He may have got tapped from behind, but Kurt Busch, his day is over, and his playoff run is over. He checked up, trying to avoid contact with the 15, gets run over from behind. That was Martin Truex Jr. in the 78. But this is the end of the playoffs for Kurt Busch. Carl Edwards will restart the race with Clint Bowyer on his outside. Truex running third, and Ryan Newman there in fourth place, battling with Harvick. Look at Harvick making a 3-wide move on the inside of Truex and Bowyer. He's going to go from fourth to second with that move. Can he clear him? Battling back is Bowyer and Truex, still 3 wide down the front stretch and into turn 1. Truex is sideways, around he goes. Caution's out again. He's quickly going to get back on the track. But tough break for Martin Truex Jr. running third. Look at where he is on the points, just 2 above. He's losing points. He's come to pit road to repair the little damage he had right there on the right rear when he made contact with the inside wall. But he's still going to be racing. He will be out there for the restart. But he's going to have a big hill to climb. Minus 23 points right now, it says. We'll see if he can battle his way towards the front and make it back above the cut line. Right now, it's Brad Keselowski and Austin Dillon who hold the last 2 spots as Carl Edwards restarts the field again. Kevin Harvick keeping to the outside. What a good restart for the 4 car. He's going to battle Carl Edwards down the backstretch and into turn 3. Strong on that outside lane. It's Harvick who takes it. Now Bowyer attacking Carl Edwards for second. Edwards slipping back from this lead. Bowyer's into second. And now Edwards is under attack from Ryan Newman in the 31 car. As Harvick continues to lead through turn 3, there's Ryan Newman taking third away from Edwards. Bowyer closing in on this lead. He's looking, but Harvick shuts the door. Here's Martin Truex Jr. making his way back up. Oh, wrecking behind him. A big, massive pile up. Justin Allgaier's in it. Trevor Bayne, Danica Patrick. That was sudden. We were just checking in on Martin Truex Jr., who's minus 17 right now, but behind him, looks like Danica Patrick and Trevor Bayne made contact. Sam Morris Jr.'s in it. Michael McDowell's in it. Casey Mears and Ty Dillon as well. 7 cars involved in this wreck. We'll take a look at it again. Watch behind the 78 when the 6 and the 10 get into frame. The 3 wide, I think the 10 just comes down a little too far. Trevor Bayne was holding his line in the middle and really nowhere to go for the rest of these guys. Kind of just pile into it. That's going to add a few cars to the list of the DNFs along with Kurt Busch. Actually, Kurt Busch was the only other car wrecked out of this race. So they'll all join him. But we'll watch Martin Truex Jr. see if he can battle back up as Kevin Harvick leads Clint Bowyer on the restart. Bowyer working with Carl Edwards on the outside. They've got a run going. Newman trying to push Kevin Harvick down the backstretch. Side by side into turn 3, and Bowyer has the advantage over Kevin Harvick. It's going to be 2 to go at the line, and it's Bowyer over Harvick, but Harvick battles back on the inside. The 4 car trying to take the lead back from the 15 of Clint Bowyer. A little loose there for Kevin Harvick. Keeps it straight though, and he's clear for the lead. And coming to the white flag, Harvick looking for win number 2 on the season and trying to lock in to the round of 12. Last guy in right now is Brad Keselowski, but he's getting shot by Kyle Busch. Keselowski's losing spots quickly. He's trying to get around the 18. Now he gets tagged by the 25. This is going to eliminate Brad Keselowski from the playoffs. Off of 4, and it's the 4 of Kevin Harvick who wins at Charlotte, and eliminated is Brad Keselowski, Martin Truex Jr., Kurt Busch, and David Ragan. And look how Brad Keselowski, he lost several spots. Kyle Busch was holding him up. The rivalry we've seen all season long. It's what kept Kyle Busch from making the playoffs, and it's gonna be what eliminates the 2 of Brad Keselowski. As Kevin Harvick burns it down, he's your winner at Charlotte Motor Speedway. 5th win of the season for Stewart-Haas Racing. That's the most of any team, tied with Hendrick Motorsports. Clint Bowyer entered the race below the cut line. A good run for him. Runner-up finish. Austin Dillon also was below the cut line until really the very last lap, when Brad Keselowski got held up by Kyle Busch. There you see Truex. He rallied to 15th, but it just was not enough, so he's eliminated as well. David Ragan really was in a must-win, so he's going to be eliminated in that 16th finishing spot. And here's all the crash cars. Kurt Busch will get last place. He had such a good regular season, was actually 2nd in the regular season standings, and an early problem is going to knock him out of the playoffs. So there it was. There's how close Truex got with his rally back. He missed it by 5 points. Brad Keselowski, who lost 3 or 4 spots there, that was just enough to get Austin Dillon in and Brad Keselowski out. So there's our playoff contenders that will battle it out in the round of 12. And the 2 tracks we will be going to are Kansas and Talladega. So if you thought the round of 16 was eventful, just wait for the round of 12. But that's it from Charlotte Motor Speedway. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you in Kansas. Clint Bowyer leads the field to the green flag as we begin the round of 12. He's got Dale Jr. looking to the outside, but he's clear off of turn 2, the 15 to the front. A couple hundred cars battling for second. Jimmy Johnson's going to go by the 88. Now he's under attack from Kyle Busch as Clint Bowyer will lead this first lap. Jimmy Johnson looking. He's right on that bumper coming into turn 1. To the outside is the 48. He's going to roll by the 15, battling down the backstretch. Bowyer trying to keep with the 48 on the inside. He's rolling that bottom, but Jimmy Johnson looking strong on the outside. He's clear for the lead over Clint Bowyer. Johnson leads lap number 2. Big hit for Tony Stewart. Multiple cars involved on the front stretch. Caution is out. Oh, man. Tony Stewart, a huge hit into the outside wall. Looks like he got loose in front of the 42 of Larson. Big hit up on top of Brad Keselowski. Ryan Newman's in it. Casey Kane, a hard hit to the outside. This is going to put these contenders in a very difficult spot heading to Talladega. We see Newman was able to drive away, but Tony Stewart and Casey Kane, their races are done. 42 was all over the back bumper of Tony Stewart. Just got him loose off the corner. But that's going to end his day. Ryan Newman's going to try and continue with his damaged car. But we're back green. Jimmy Johnson leads them. Matt Kenseth making big moves. For a third, he's 3 wide with Dale Jr. and Kyle Busch to the outside. Matt Kenseth strong in that restart. He takes that spot as Austin Dillon's going around on the backstretch. Big save for Austin Dillon. He keeps it off the inside wall, but the caution is back out again. He was going 3 wide just like we saw Kenseth, but it did not work out for the 3 car. He gets loose and saves it. Look at that. Flirting with hitting the wall. He's going to keep it off and drive away. But that's another playoff contender having a problem here early in Kansas. Just gets loose. Around he goes, but he's not going to wreck his car. He did come to pit road, though, so he'll have fresh tires, but he'll be restarting in the back. Jimmie Johnson leads him back to green. Big move for Kenseth. They're 4 wide heading into turn 1. Look at that. Johnson gets loose. He's going to save it. He falls back, but there's still 3 wide. 3 Toyotas. Matt Kenseth, Clint Bowyer, and Kyle Busch. Side by side off of turn 4. Man, they're still going at it. Who's going to take the advantage heading into turn 1? Looks like Matt Kenseth. He's got a strong run on the inside. The 20 car to the front. Kyle Busch and Clint Bowyer still battling side by side for second. The 18 using that high line to his advantage. Bowyer losing spots on the bottom as Matt Kenseth leads with 4 to go here in Kansas. Bowyer losing yet another spot. There's Dale Jr. going by him on the outside. Man, Bowyer not looking good on the inside line as he tries to fight Dale Jr., try to keep next to him. But Dale Jr. strong on that outside. The outside looking good for these front 3. Maybe Bowyer can get in line. Oh, he's still going to battle him. Here's a battle behind Bowyer. That's Jimmie Johnson and Martin Truex Jr. going at it down the backstretch. Martin Truex moving into the 5th spot in front of Jimmie Johnson. Johnson losing time on that outside lane. So really we see both lanes working. Just depends on which car is better. As we see Kyle Busch, we know he's hungry for a win. He tries to get Kenseth. Big hit! Paul Menard on the front stretch. Another hard impact with the outside wall, and the caution is out late here in Kansas. Let's take a look and see what happened to Paul Menard. He's 3 wide with Austin Dillon, who had that spin earlier, but it kind of looks like Paul Menard drove them up the track. They were 3 wide, and he kind of ran the 3 and the 51. That's Justin Allgaier. He ran them both out of room, it looked like. We'll take another look at it. But those 2 are going to be done in this race. Let's see. Paul Menard kind of does just come up. I don't know if he got tight or what, but around he goes. Major hit for the 27 and collects the 51 as well. So this is going to set up a 1-lap restart. Matt Kenseth, here he goes. Can he hold on the lead? Look at Clint Bowyer on the outside. They're 3 wide for second. Matt Kenseth trying to pull away as Bowyer battles Kyle Busch. Big run for Clint Bowyer down the backstretch. Here he comes to Kenseth. Kenseth blocks the inside. Here goes Bowyer to the outside. Coming to the checkered flag. Matt Kenseth to the line. It's Kenseth who wins at Kansas over Clint Bowyer. What a finish for Matt Kenseth and Clint Bowyer. Bowyer comes up just shy, but what a run he had. I thought maybe he was going to get there, but Kenseth hangs on to win his 2nd race of the season. So Matt Kenseth's going to burn it down here at Kansas. The 20 car is your winner. Matt Kenseth will be going at Talladega worry-free. Clint Bowyer, that's his 2nd runner-up finish in a row. Kyle Busch gets 3rd. Dale Jr., Jimmie Johnson, couple playoff guys, 4th and 5th. We've seen Martin Truex Jr., he was 5th before that final restart. He lost 5 spots and ended up 10th. Tough luck for him. There's Carl Edwards. Austin Dillon gets up to 24th after his spin. So he's going to be in a tough situation at Talladega. As well as a couple other drivers here. We'll see Ryan Newman, 27th. He was involved in that wreck. Didn't really get that far after the repairs they made. And then Tony Stewart, 35th, and Casey Kane, dead last today. Those 2 may be in a must-win at Talladega. There's the points. Kenseth, the only one safe. 30 points for Gordon. That's pretty good. 27 is good as well, but Carl Edwards, Kevin Harvick, 20. It's tough to say. I mean, 1 wreck and Harvick is gone, but that also requires the guys below the cut line to have a good run, and Talladega is so unpredictable. It's really hard to say what's going to happen, but that's the end of the round of 12. It's at Talladega, so our elimination race, it's going to be very chaotic. But that's it from Kansas Motor Speedway. Thank you all for stopping by, and I will see you in Talladega. Aric Almirola leads the field to green in his U.S. Air Force number 43, and we'll be watching the cut line all race long in the bottom left. As Almirola gets a push from Stenhouse, he's clear for the lead, and he's going to be working both lanes to try and keep that lead. He's got a lot of Fords lined up on that bottom lane. Maybe he'll prefer to stay down there as he leads lap 1. Yeah, look at that, 5 Fords all lined up on the bottom. Here's a Ford in the middle. That's Joey Logano, one of our first playoff guys in the field. He's got Jeff Gordon to his outside as Greg Biffle's kind of out of shape there down the back stretch. Greg Biffle leading that third line. He's still loose. Watch the 16 in front of Gordon. Gordon goes around. Matt Kenseth's in it. Kyle Busch is in it. And Austin Dillon is in it as well. We had 3 playoff guys get knocked out. Matt Kenseth was in it. He's already locked into the next round. But Jeff Gordon, who was behind Greg Biffle. Biffle was out of control. And around Gordon goes behind him. Big hit for Danica Patrick to the inside. Look at Denny Hamlin get through that mess through the middle there. Driving through the grass. And Austin Dillon, this is going to eliminate him from the playoffs as he was lodged underneath Cole Witt. Here's the replay, really slowed up. Greg Biffle just kind of steps out of line and hooks the 24 down into Kenseth. Kyle Busch nowhere to go. Danica Patrick into the inside wall. Denny Hamlin almost underneath the 35, then through the grass. Somehow he makes it through. Michael McDowell and Chase Elliott get involved in it as well. 8 cars will be knocked out from this wreck, including Austin Dillon, who will be done in the playoffs. Jeff Gordon still 13 above, but a lot of racing left. Anything can happen to him. So we'll keep an eye on that cut line as we're ready to go back racing. Eric Almirola will lead the field back to green. Now the Fords kind of split up. 3 on the bottom, 2 on the top, and the 2 are working well together. Teammates Trevor Bayne and Ricky Stenhouse Jr. taking the lead down the backstretch. He's clear of Almirola. He's going to go down and block him. Now back up to block his teammate. He's going to block both lanes as we see a third lane forming way back there. That's Clint Boyer. He's in the playoffs trying to make up as much ground as he can on that third line. Tony Stewart tries to jump up there. Logano does as well. Stewart goes back to the middle. Logano pretty loose, but he's going to hang on and lead that line as Keselowski sees him coming. He jumps up to that third line to get in front of his teammate. Now Brad Keselowski and Joey Logano up on the top side. Keselowski back to the middle to block Johnson. He's going to lead lap 4, and they're almost 3 wide for the lead. Now Keselowski clear of Stenhouse as he takes him down the backstretch. Joey Logano loose. We saw this with Greg Biffle. There he goes around. A lot of cars involved. Dale Jr.'s in it. Kurt Busch, Trevor Bayne, and more. Collected in the big one on the backstretch. Second caution of the day. More playoff contenders in it. Dale Earnhardt Jr., Joey Logano, and Clint Boyer's in it as well. And they're going to red flag this one. The car stopped on the front stretch so they can clean up this mess. But take a look at Joey Logano in the 22. Just like what we saw with Greg Biffle, he gets hooked around Boyer on that left rear. And look at Kevin Harvick avoid this mess, almost to the wall on that inside. Paul Menard in it, Jamie McMurray, Greg Biffle, and Trevor Bayne in it as well. The Roush cars always run so well at our super speedways, but for the most part, they've all racked out. Only a couple of finishes so far this season. But here we go, really slowed up. Boyer just comes down. Logano was already loose. I don't know if that's a good move by Boyer, but around Logano goes, collects Dale Earnhardt Jr., Harvick avoiding it, Sam Hornish Jr.'s in it, Kurt Busch a hard hit to that inside wall, and then more contact. Jamie McMurray piles in. He runs into Paul Menard, and then Matt DiBenedetto caught up as well. So 11 cars is the total involved in this wreck, including 3 playoff contenders, Dale Earnhardt Jr., Joey Logano, and Clint Boyer, who's only 6 points above the cut line right now. So a lot of room for Tony Stewart, Ryan Newman to try and race their way into the round of 8. The safety crews have cleaned up the mess, and we're ready to go back racing. It's Brad Keselowski who leads them back to green with Ricky Stenhouse Jr. on his outside. Jimmy Johnson and Tony Stewart on that inside. Couple Chevrolets trying to get to the front. There's Brad Keselowski pulling that inside line way up ahead. Here comes Johnson and Stewart to the outside. Jimmy Johnson at first place. We finally have a playoff contender taking the lead. Here at Talladega with just 4 laps to go. Tony Stewart, see, he's minus 3 points right now. Looks like he'll have to win this race in order to advance. Oh, Almirola's around. Denny Hamlin's in it, up and over. Denny Hamlin flipping down the backstretch. Big tumble for the 11 car. Caution's out. And man, what a ride for Denny Hamlin down the backstretch. Watch the 43, Eric Almirola on the outside. Big time, out of control into Hamlin. And look at how the air gets underneath his car. Gets it way up off the ground and then into the wall hard and up and over. Looks like 3 rolls all the way to the end of the backstretch for the Sport Clips number 11 Toyota. Oh, man, what a ride. Really slowing up here. We've seen this several times today. Greg Biffle, Joey Logano, and now Aric Almirola, all Fords as well. Look at Denny Hamlin's car just take flight hard into that inside wall and then up and over, tumbling down the backstretch. Only 2 cars involved in this one, which will leave 16 cars on the track. And I was just mentioning how Tony Stewart, he's up there in the top 3, but still 3 points out, so he'll have to win in order to advance. One more look at it. Real speed for Denny Hamlin and Aric Almirola. Almirola, a good lick into that inside wall as well, but man, what a ride for Denny Hamlin. Both cars have been towed to the garage, which means it's time for the restart, and there's going to be only 3 laps to go. And look at Tony Stewart in second place. He needs to win as he gets loose in front of Ricky Stenhouse. And just like that, he's going to the back. Carl Edwards below the double yellow line. That's a penalty as Jimmie Johnson gets moved out of the way. Carl Edwards is going to have to come to pit road to serve his penalty as Kasey Kahne goes for the lead. He needs to win to make it to the next round with 2 laps to go, and it's Kasey Kahne out front. And look at Carl Edwards, just 1 point below the cut line after having that penalty. Here comes Tony Stewart back up the middle. He needs to get back to the front. Brad Keselowski and Stenhouse on that outside. Kahne tries to block. Now he's out of line. He's going to go to the back. He needed to win, and now he's out of it. Jimmie Johnson leads at the white flag with Brad Keselowski working the outside. Here comes Tony Stewart. He shoves Ricky Stenhouse out of the way. Big run for Stewart. He gets rid of Keselowski. Johnson tries to block. No, here comes Tony Stewart. He has to win to advance. Coming to the checkered flag. Stewart down to block. He gets turned up into the wall. They're wrecking across the line. And I think it was Ryan Newman who ends up winning. Eric Talladega as Stewart crosses the line on his side. A big block for Stewart. He needed to block Jimmie Johnson, and around he goes. Into the wall hard. Everyone scatters across the line, and it is Ryan Newman who wins at Talladega as the big one happens behind him. A desperation move by Tony Stewart to try and make it to the round of 8 is going to be what eliminates him. There was a big run. Jimmie Johnson and Ryan Newman on the bottom. He came down to block, and up and around he goes with Jimmie Johnson and Kyle Larson. And Ryan Newman through the smoke, clear to the checkered flag, and just chaos behind him. That pretty much sums up Talladega right there. A tough ending for Tony Stewart. A couple of hard hits here at Talladega, and then his hard hit at Kansas as well. Here it is at full speed. Tony Stewart will be eliminated, along with Austin Dillon, Kasey Kahne, and Carl Edwards, who had that pass below the double yellow line on the backstretch. Here it is. Let's see, it was Newman in front of him, and he just gets loose there. I think Edwards thought he might go around, but Edwards keeps going and clears the 31, and that is what the officials called a penalty. But it's Ryan Newman who's victorious in Talladega. He celebrates in front of the fans. Congratulations, Ryan Newman. He will make it to the next round. Justin Allgaier ends up second. Through all that mayhem, A.J. Allmendinger third, David Gillen fourth, Jimmie Johnson, who was wrecking, he ended up fifth. There's Tony Stewart, eighth, eliminated. Kevin Harvick, 10th. Kasey Kahne eliminated in 11th. And then Carl Edwards, the last car to finish the race. He will be eliminated as well. And there's all the wrecked cars. Almirola, Denny Hamlin, still top 20s after their big hits. You see Joey Logano and Clint Bowyer just outside the top 20. Bowyer, I believe, was only 1 point that he'll make it through to the round of 8. Jeff Gordon makes it as well after wrecking early. Austin Dillon, he was in that early wreck, and he will not make it to the round of 8. So here's what the points looked like at the end of today's race. There it is. Clint Bowyer, 1 point to the good. Jeff Gordon, only 3 to the good. Carl Edwards, with that penalty, ends up eliminated. Tony Stewart, his woes at Kansas and today, he's eliminated. Kasey Kahne was last at Kansas. He needed to win today and did not get it done. Well, that's it from Talladega, and that's it from the round of 12. The round of 8 is up next, and we'll be heading to Martinsville and Phoenix. So those are the two in the round of 8. But thank you all for showing up to Talladega, and I will see you in Martinsville. Denny Hamlin takes us to the green flag, and we are playoff racing here at Martinsville. Denny Hamlin off of turn 2, looking to try and clear the 22 of Logano. Yes, he's clear, and now Logano and Johnson, a couple playoff guys battling there for second. Denny Hamlin's going to lead this first lap, and the 48 is clear for second, so Logano falls to third after starting in that outside pole in second place. Jimmie Johnson trying to close on the 11. He's got a good run off of turn 2. Jimmie Johnson to the inside of Denny Hamlin for race lead. But the 48 to the point. It's Jimmie Johnson leading here at Martinsville as Kevin Harvick's around. Collects Martin Truex Jr. here in turn 2. Early caution, and it's playoff contender Kevin Harvick. This is going to be detrimental for the 4 car. Let's take a look and see how this happened. There's Kevin Harvick on the outside. You know, the inside prevails here at Martinsville, but I think he's trying to get the power down, just gets loose, no grip in the rear, and around that back end of the car goes. And Martin Truex Jr. nowhere to go for the 78. So Harvick is going to lose a lot of points here, being one of the first cars out. There is just no grip. Around it goes on the exit here. And I think there was contact between the 24 and the 19. Jeff Gordon, yeah, gets into Carl Edwards right there. Carl Edwards came down pit road. The 2014 left Jeff Gordon out on the racetrack. So we'll see if that damage affects the 24 as we see one more replay here of Kevin Harvick going around. But a little bit of contact for Jeff Gordon. Don't think it'll cause too much damage to the 24. But we're ready for the restart. Edwards did make his way to pit road. Here we go. Green flag back in the air. Jimmie Johnson leads him, and Gordon's around. Kurt Busch in it as well. Kasey Kahne and Brad Keselowski. Oh, man, another playoff contender involved, and this time it's Jeff Gordon. I didn't think that damage was too significant. Let's take a look. Oh, he just doesn't get going. We hear the transmission broke. That's what they're saying on the radio. I wouldn't think the transmission would break from that little contact with Carl Edwards. And you know, it's been a long season. There's a lot of wear and tear on parts, and especially here at Martinsville for the transmission. I think that's what it is. That little contact with Edwards just wouldn't do it. But they've cleaned up this wreck. So we're ready for the restart again. Jimmie Johnson tries it once more. Looking clean for this restart. Or is it? Here comes Joey Logano. Big shove to Jimmie Johnson. Joey Logano trying to take the lead. He shuffled Denny Hamlin back, but Jimmie Johnson hanging on the outside. Unconventional line here at Martinsville as Logano tries to save it. He got loose there. He keeps it going. Now he's under attack from Kyle Busch. Busch didn't make the playoffs, but he's been so good all season long. Look for the 18 to run well next season. I think he's a lock for the playoffs. He's too good of a driver not to make it. Same for Denny Hamlin, who got shuffled back. He's in 8th right now, trying to make his way back up. But right now, it's Jimmie Johnson leading. Kyle Busch into 2nd. Here comes Dale Earnhardt Jr. for 3rd on Joey Logano. He's got a run. Logano slipping back as he was just challenging Johnson for the lead not too long ago. Now Matt Kenseth on that inside line. The inside line keeps it rolling. Can Logano find an empty space? Is there enough space between Newman and Kenseth there? Maybe Logano can drop to the bottom and stop the bleeding of positions as he slips back behind Kenseth. No, he's going to challenge Kenseth for that spot. Joey Logano now has the preferred line. Here's Denny Hamlin into the mix as well. Hamlin trying to recover from that restart. He's going to go 3 wide on Kenseth and Logano. Denny Hamlin taking the spot from both of them. 2 for 1 for Hamlin. Now Kenseth back to the low line as their battle continues between the 20 and the 22. Kenseth can finally get around Logano, who seems to still be slipping back. But right now it's 2 to go, and it's been all Jimmie Johnson up front as a car goes around in front of him. Oh, the caution's going to come out with 2 to go. That's Ty Dillon that went around. He's going to drive away. But oh boy, caution's out. And let's take a look at how that happened. I think Cole Witt helps the 33 around right in front of our leader, Jimmie Johnson. But here's the overtime rules in the YCAST Cup Series. No race will ever end under caution. If the caution flag comes out, another lap will be added, and the leader doesn't have a lane choice for the restarts. And this is only if we have the caution here on the restart. We're not in overtime yet. This is just in case we do get overtime. Alright, here we go for the restart, and it's a big restart for Jimmie Johnson, clear of Junior and Busch, and the caution's back out. A big pileup off of turn 4 in the back of the pack. They have red flagged this one immediately. All the cars have stopped on the backstretch. Man, a giant pileup. This was coming to the restart. These cars haven't gotten to the start line yet. Let's see what happened. Stenhouse around, Patrick around, Casey Mears. It's really hard to tell what happened there. I think there's a lot of pushing from Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Watch the 17. Just gets the 10 turn, then he goes up the track into Casey Mears. Bobby Labonte nowhere to go. Matt DiBenedetto, who was a lap down, he would have been the free pass, but he's involved in the wreck. So he's actually going to end up in the garage instead of back on the lead lap. Yeah, big pileup, and that will force overtime now. So they've added a lap, and they will continue adding laps if the caution keeps coming out. But let's go. We're in overtime, and it's Jimmie Johnson with another great race start. The 48 clear for the lead again. Off of turn 2, Dale Jr. trying to keep up with his teammate. Johnson's been so strong all day long. What's Jr. got for him? He gives him the bumper. He moves his teammate out of the way. Dale Jr. to the lead and to the checkered flag. Dale Earnhardt Jr. has won at Martinsville by moving his teammate Jimmie Johnson out of the way. Take a look at it again. The 88 gives the bumper to the 48 and steals the victory. Here at Martinsville, Dale Earnhardt Jr. will be heading to the championship finale in Homestead. What a thrilling finish as Dale Jr. robs his teammate of the victory. Jimmie Johnson for the second straight race, leading at the white flag and will fail to score the victory. There's some more playoff guys in the top 10. Matt Kenseth, Joey Logano, strong runs for each of them. And Ryan Newman a top 10 as well. Clint Bowyer the furthest back who finished the race. The other two being Kevin Harvick and Jeff Gordon, who did not end up finishing the race. We'll see where they lie in the points standings after we take a look here at the race results. There's all the DNFs. A lot of guys were all involved in that overtime crash from Danica Patrick to Matt DiBenedetto. And of course, Jeff Gordon and Kevin Harvick, they're going to be in very tight situation heading to Phoenix. And here it is, playoff standings. Dale Jr. is in for Homestead. Jimmie Johnson +8. Matt Kenseth and Joey Logano 5 and 4 above. Ryan Newman only 4 points back. That's not terrible. Clint Bowyer 18 points back. Jeff Gordon 21. And Harvick a menacing 30 points back. That is the playoff standings. Heading to Phoenix, the last race of the round of 8. And once that's concluded, we will know our championship 4 heading to Homestead. But that's it from Martinsville. Thank you all for stopping by, and I will see you in Phoenix. At the start of the season takes us to the green flag. It's Kevin Harvick, and we're racing in the desert here at Phoenix. Here they come down the backstretch and through the dog leg. Look how they fan out 3 wide back there. Kasey Kahne in the middle of that with Kurt Busch and Carl Edwards. But it's Kevin Harvick clear of Jeff Gordon. He's leading here in the desert, and he is in a must-win scenario, and so is Jeff Gordon. He's -13 to the good right now. Here's a battle for a couple guys who've been eliminated from the playoffs. That's Carl Edwards on the inside of Kurt Busch. Heading into turn 3 and 4 here on lap 2. Kurt Busch rolling that top side. He's got to run off the corner. And look at Ryan Newman gaining spots. He is 1 to the good with that move in front of Kasey Kahne. Ryan Newman up to the top 5. And that move right there puts Matt Kenseth out. Whoa! Little contact there, and they're 4 wide heading through the dog leg. Matt Kenseth and Joey Logano a part of this. They get around both the Kyles. Matt Kenseth on the high side is going to get in front of Joey Logano. Now he's back above the cut line. And that puts Newman and Johnson tied. Here comes Logano on a move on Kasey Kahne. A 3-way tie right there. Logano needs more. Here he comes to the inside of Matt Kenseth. Kenseth still using that top lane. He's going to roll around Dale Jr. Here comes Logano. A lot of contact with the 88. Bouncing off the 20 and the 22. Logano will get through, so will Kenseth as Jr. falls back. Oh, he may have a tire rub on that 88 car. Looks like maybe it's gone away. We'll monitor the 88 as Kenseth and Logano still go at it. No, there's the 88. He's in the wall. And that's going to bring out the caution. Dale Jr. into the wall. He's going to be out of it today. But remember, he is our Martinsville winner, so he is already on to Homestead. Doesn't matter that he will get last today. But there it is. The tire goes down on the 88. Into the wall he goes. And that all came from the aggression here in the playoffs. Watch him in between Logano and Kenseth. Logano just tries to make that 3-wide move. A lot of contact with the 88. He bounces off the 20, then back on the 22. And that's what cuts the tire down for the 88. But he's cleaned up. He's in the garage. We're ready for the restart. It's been all Kevin Harvick up front. Does Jeff Gordon have anything for the 4 car? Here he comes on the outside. It's Jeff Gordon to the point. Side by side down the dogleg. Now they're 3 wide. Ryan Newman needs points. Here they come through 1 and 2. Gordon is clear for the lead. Ryan Newman trying for 3rd. But that move by Gordon puts Harvick out of the playoffs. Here he comes back to the inside. Kevin Harvick so good here at Phoenix on that inside line. Can Jeff Gordon hold him off on the outside? Harvick with the nose in front of Gordon. Gordon rolling the top. He's got to run off the corner. Side by side to the line. 2 to go. And it's Jeff Gordon just ahead of Harvick. But here comes the 4 car back to the front. He's in the lead, clear of Jeff Gordon. Down the backstretch, can Gordon mount a charge on the 4 car? Only one of these 2 can make it to the final round. Right now it's Gordon out with Harvick leading. White flag for Harvick. Here comes Gordon with a run. There's contact. Harvick up the track now. Gordon back to the front. But here comes Harvick with a crossover. The 4 and the 24 going at it. This is it for the championship. Who's going to make it? Harvick. Gordon with a run. There's contact off of turn 4. Gordon with the advantage. Jeff Gordon is going to win here at Phoenix and make it to Homestead. Harvick is going to be out with Ryan Newman, Joey Logano, and Clint Bowyer. And here's all that contact off of turn 4. Harvick sliding, Gordon sliding. And to the line, it's the 24 of Jeff Gordon, who wins at Phoenix and will advance to Homestead as he burns it down here in the desert. What a fight between Jeff Gordon and Kevin Harvick to make it to the championship round. Ryan Newman in 4th. He's going to be eliminated. Joey Logano at top 10. He will be eliminated as well. Both of them were only 2 points out to Jimmie Johnson, who ends up 10th. Johnson was runner-up in Martinsville. That's why he had so many points. And then Clint Bowyer, just not enough. He ends up 13th in today's race. But man, what a fight for Kevin Harvick. So close. Jeff Gordon and Harvick going at it. Only one of them could make it. And today it was Jeff Gordon. There you see Dale Jr. He ends up last place, but he was already a winner at Martinsville, so he was locked into Homestead. Not really good for his momentum, though, but he is in Homestead regardless. And there it is. Your championship 4 will be Jeff Gordon, Dale Earnhardt Jr., Matt Kenseth, and Jimmie Johnson. So 3 Hendrick cars have made the final round. And then the lone Toyota Joe Gibbs Racing Matt Kenseth car maybe play spoiler for these Hendrick cars at Homestead. But that's it from Phoenix Raceway. Up next, as I've mentioned a million times, the championship finale at Homestead to end Season 1 of the YCast Cup Series. But thank you all for watching, and I will see you at Homestead Miami Speedway. It's time to crown a champion. We're green here at Homestead Miami Speedway as Jeff Gordon surges ahead of Kyle Larson. He's in first place, and he's ahead of his other 3 competitors for the championship lead. Here's Matt Kenseth. He's going for 4th place on his teammate Carl Edwards. Trying to catch up to Jeff Gordon, who leads lap 1, but Kyle Larson all over the back bumper of the 24. The championship 4 don't have to win this race. As Larson goes around, they just have to beat the other 3. Larson takes the lead. Gordon falls to 2nd, but he's still ahead of the other 3 competitors. There's Matt Kenseth. He's got a strong car right now to the outside of Kevin Harvick. That's for 3rd. He's closing in on Jeff Gordon to try and take this championship lead as we're now 3 laps in. Here at Homestead, here he comes, looking on the outside of Jeff Gordon. Down the back stretch. Looks like he's got to run it. He's got to take it. The 20 car to the inside. He's the new championship leader on lap number 3, Matt Kenseth. Looking good here in South Florida. They got that 20 car dialed up as Jeff Gordon looks back on that inside line. It looks like Kenseth better as Kyle Larson smoking. He is! The caution's out, and the 42 is blown up from the lead. Kyle Larson is going to be done for the day. That engine has expired. It has been a long season. Parts are starting to fail, and the engine blows up on the 42. So tough break for Kyle Larson, leading this race and looking strong too. He had quite the lead over Matt Kenseth, but he's going to be out of it. We're ready for a restart. Our final four, our top four in this race right now. Matt Kenseth versus Jeff Gordon through turn one. We got cars around. Joey Logano into the outside wall. There was another car. It's Greg Biffle. He's in it as well. So the caution's back out right after the restart. Take a look at the orange car, the 22. Looks like he comes down on Kyle Busch. They were 3 wide there. I think maybe he was trying to block that move by Kyle Busch, but it's ultimately going to take him out of contention. Of course, this all happened behind our final 4 drivers, so no change to the first 4. Logano and Greg Biffle were just inside the top 10. They're going to join Kyle Larson in the garage. We're ready for another restart. Matt Kenseth versus Jeff Gordon. Look at Dale Jr. to the outside. They're 3 wide for the lead. The 88 of Dale Jr. A strong run through 1 and 2. Still 3 wide down the back straightaway. Dale Jr. loose into turn 3. He's going to slip back in front of Carl Edwards. Now it's just Kenseth and Gordon again. Down the front straightaway. Gordon will lead that lap over Matt Kenseth. Kenseth slipping back. He's loose through 1 and 2. That's going to open the door for the 48 of Jimmie Johnson to the inside. Here comes Jimmie Johnson down the back straightaway. Kenseth slips back. Jimmy's clear for second place. He's going to try and track down his teammate for the win and the championship. 3 to go for Jeff Gordon. Here comes Jimmie Johnson strong on that inside line for Jimmie Johnson. He's slipping up, but he's there to the inside. Side by side down the back straightaway. Who's going to have the advantage into 3? Jimmie Johnson with the nose in front of his teammate. Can't quite get clear. Down the front straightaway, still side by side. Gordon trying to fight back. 2 to go. Jimmie Johnson clear of Jeff Gordon. Can Gordon fight back? Johnson's going to slide up and try to block it, but here comes Gordon back to the inside. Another run for the 24. He dives to the inside of Jimmie Johnson. Clear, he slides up. Johnson comes back with the crossover. He's back to the inside. White flag in the air for the season. Johnson dives through turn 1. He's clear of Gordon once again. Can Gordon get another run, or will Johnson hold him off down the back straightaway for the final time of the season? Johnson sets sail through 3 and 4. Your inaugural Wide Cast Cup Series champion is Jimmie Johnson. What a battle between Jimmie Johnson and Jeff Gordon, and here was the pass to win the championship. Jimmie Johnson takes it through 1 and 2, clear up high, and he was off to the championship. Congratulations to Jimmie Johnson on winning the Season 1 Wide Cast Cup Series championship. Here's the finishing results from Homestead, Miami. Jimmie Johnson takes the win and the title. Jeff Gordon comes home second. Good run for Chase Elliott there in third. Matt Kenseth will take third in the championship, fourth on the track, and Dale Jr. sixth on the racetrack, fourth for the championship finale. Couple good runs here. I see Michael McDowell grabs the top 20. Trevor Baynes, 17th. Not bad for those guys. David Gilliland, 22nd. Tony Stewart, kind of a rough go, 21st for him. And then here's our DNFs here in the back. Greg Biffle, Joey Logano, and Kyle Larson were our 3 DNFs in 2 cautions in today's race. Here's the final standings for the season. Of course, our final 4 are the top 4. And then 5th through 16th is a battle between everyone who made but was eliminated from the playoffs. And of course, we can see all the stats from here. A lot of top 20s for Jimmie Johnson, Jeff Gordon. A lot of top 10s for Joey Logano there, who ended up 7th in the season standings. Here's the back half of our playoff contenders and their season-long stats. See Kurt Busch with a really good average start there, but kind of fell apart through the playoffs. He was good in the regular season, and then obviously he had that first round elimination maybe he can turn it around. And a lot of these guys looking to turn around their seasons, including Kyle Busch. I mean, look at his stats for not making the playoffs. Very impressive. Almost 40 points ahead of Denny Hamlin in 18th. And a lot of top 5s, a lot of top 10s from Kyle Busch. Very good average start, good average finish. Look for the 18 car to be strong in Season 2. And here we're getting to the bottom of our drivers, 25th through 32nd. I see Trevor Bayne had a decent average start, about 22nd, but is 30th in points. He did have that pole at Talladega very early in the season. And then David Gilliland, a couple top 5s from him. Those were both at super speedways as well. One at Daytona and one at Talladega. And then here's our bottom 5 drivers and also some season-long stats. 22 races were run in Season 1, 236 laps, and 169 DNFs. That's about 7.5 cars that crashed out per race. So that's a lot of crashed cars, but it's a lot of good racing as well. And that's it from Season 1. Thank you all so much for stopping by, and I will see you for Season 2.